Craft.
Hello, all you beautiful snowflakes out there.
Hello, Governor.
All you unique ice sculptures of various, I don't know, what do people make ice sculptures of? Bridges, right?
Bridges and ice sculptures of formations of ice, I suppose.
Oh, a good supposition. Valid. I'm Joels from Nashville, Tennessee, and I'm joined in studio today by my sister, Quinn.
Hoi!
Why?
Hoi!
I don't know why we're talking like this. I think because we were talking about the Monkees, which were basically a knockoff of the Beatles.
Yeah.
And it's not funny if we talk like the Monkees. I don't know what the...
No one actually knows what the monkeys sound like.
We have no recordings of their voices. We do. We're just not gonna go find them.
I don't know about that.
It's not worth the effort. No, if
Any recording you may have heard of the monkeys was created by AI.
If anyone out there who's watching is actually one of the Monkees watching with their grandkids today, or just their grandkids watching today, we apologize.
We're sorry, the monkeys.
Sorry, the Monkees. We're gonna make it up for you by putting a great show. Wait, what is going on here?
What? Something about a war?
I don't know. That was before I logged on, apparently.
Oh, so you didn't start the fire? Okay.
Okay, Doc, are you asking because you need a spare elytra? It looks like Rendog died, and Doc says, do you have a spare elytra? Which is implying, like, hey, you died, do you need an elytra to fly back to your stuff? But it might just be that Doc is coincidentally like, hey, guys, I lost my elytra. I'm in a bad situation, too. Pay attention to me. And Ren's like, nah, man, I'm good. And Doc's like, but do you have a spare elytra?
Yes, for me, not for you.
It's not for you.
For whom the bell tolls.
Yep. I do want to spotlight real quick that I saw at the Washington Post this week. Quinn, you were featured, so I want to congratulate you on that and post that link for anybody out there who might want to check that out.
Post in the post.
Boom. Posted.
Post haste.
That was quick post linking.
I'm in the news today, oh boy.
They took my photograph at... Which park was it? Down at Shelby Park? Or
no, Centennial.
I thought it was Centennial. I told people, but like I was looking at this particular tree and I'm like, I don't know. Oh no, the flowers are...
And they have the little garden area.
Yeah. Okay, I know where that is then. Whatever Doc and Ren are doing, they're figuring it out on their own. So, good for them. Not my problem. Not my circus. Hello 9, writes Dagon. Well, hello 10 to everyone who wants to amp it up to 10. Just as a quick reminder, Quinn drives all the way across town to come out here for these morning musical streams. We're going to be splitting the tips 50-50 today.
Say it ain't so.
It is so. We're going to be splitting the tips 50-50. It is a little bit of a burden. I appreciate your musical tribute, but you know what? You're worth it. Soaring Leaf writes, hello 11. There is a chatter who understands the value of cranking it up.
Hello 11. I'm not a numerologist. What does that refer to?
Oh, somebody else wrote hello 9.
Oh.
And so we're turning it up.
Turning it up.
Yeah, we're going past 10 here.
Roads, where we're going, we don't need roads.
Yeah.
And then they do have roads in the future because they just had to reuse the same set and kind of just like put a couple, future-y looking things on there in a holographic Jaws, but then they still have roads, and they use the roads too.
I've actually never seen Back to the Future 2. I've seen the
what?
I've seen the first one and the third one. But, like,
It's thematically akin to Gremlins too, so I
Which
would have
I
thought
love.
you'd seen it.
Well, it's one of those things that it falls into that class of films that everyone else has seen it, so nobody wants to watch it.
I'll watch it with you, Joe Hills.
Okay, so we might have to put that in the hopper.
Fire up the hopper.
Get to the hopper. Welcome, Geek of Many Topics.
Hi, Geek of Many Topics. What topics are you exploring today?
Welcome, Nancy Rose and Bongo as well. Uh-oh. We're gonna not go in the lava there. We were actually collecting deep slate diamond ore so that we could go buy some fancy shears from Pearlescent Moon, so I think we got enough. Welcome,
Oh, you're one of those
42.
people who are always spouting conspiracy theories about the deep slate.
Yeah. It's the deep slate that's holding us back. We'd still have a king if it wasn't for the deep slate.
I didn't vote for you.
Well, you don't vote for a king. So, yeah. So, I have not yet, since I just got back, it's in my queue to watch The Bear Season 2.
Oh my god, you need to watch it.
How many episodes in are they?
It all came out at once.
Oh, it all...
10 episodes.
So it's the entire season dropped. Okay.
And it's so good.
Because I usually, I rotate my subscriptions so that I'm not paying for all of them at once. And so I canceled something else and switched back to Hulu so I could watch it. But I haven't had the chance to actually put it on yet.
Yes, so yeah, you can just put it on, watch it all, and then cancel your Hulu again.
That's exactly what's gonna happen. Because, I remember, it used to be there'd be a lot of stuff on Hulu that I wanted to watch. But, nowadays it's
There isn't, there's 5 episodes of the new season of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, which I haven't seen yet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so
last night's episode features Bryan Cranston and Aaron Paul playing themselves, so I am interested in watching that one.
Are they? So it's like the gang becomes obsessed with Breaking Bad and then kidnaps them or something. Okay, well yeah, I want to watch that.
I haven't seen it.
Okay.
But it's also on Hulu.
Okay.
Who does not pay us?
Yeah, I was gonna say while I've got this, what else do I need to watch real quick?
Yep.
I've been really happy with Strange New Worlds. The first episode had some plot holes that kind of
I watched the
first
first episode with you,
But
and
the
we were like, I haven't seen the second. Is there a third one now? I guess tonight, maybe? I don't know.
Maybe tomorrow morning.
Yeah, I need to catch up.
But the second one was a really solid episode of Star Trek.
That's what I like to see when I'm watching Star Trek. I like to see an episode of Star Trek.
Yeah.
It doesn't always happen.
Yeah, no, for example, and there's some things that they really embrace the medium. What are things you can only do with Star Trek, right? And so they have a great scene in the cafeteria or the mess, right, of the ship, where Spock and this other Vulcan are having a conversation across the way, and the other crew are speculating based on their body language about what they're saying.
Oh, okay. And they really can't speculate anything.
Well, but
correctly.
The thing is, there is one guy who's actually good at reading Vulcans.
Oh, I see.
And he's so they're another crew member might be like, oh, blah 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 blah, and he's like, no. He's doing, he's actually like this, and it's all very subtle movements on the part of the actors,
Right.
It's a fun little acting
that's fun
exercise type thing, pretend you're a Vulcan, and your experience, and this guy just said this to you,
Yeah.
that sort of thing.
That's the kind of thing that I could imagine being in one of the original series films.
Exactly. It's
that have fun little things like that.
Yeah, it's just a fun Spock moment. Even though he's not saying much, or whatever he is saying you can't hear.
Right.
But and the episode itself is about.
Oh, so it's positioned so even the audience doesn't.
No, the audience doesn't know
That's fun.
Yeah. It's shot really well, and the thing is, the whole episode is actually really good. But that's just a particularly standout. Does anybody know where the shear shop is? Is that back in the starter village? I think. I think that the prank over here might be cleared up enough that I can go back over here. In that my game isn't crashing when I come over here. But one of the hermits did a prank that got a little bit out of hand, and like,
oh no,
yeah, and some of it's it's like as
what happened? Who did they anger Doc with this prank? What happened?
The episode isn't out yet.
Oh, okay, we don't know.
So I can't say, but I can say that as I was walking in this direction, my frame rate just dropped to almost 0.
Oh no.
And somebody else who was like flying toward this direction and like didn't like notice, like apparently got into those chunks, and it's like their game like just like crashed.
Oh no.
So it's like yeah.
Oh no. Hey, we haven't mentioned anything about our goals.
Oh yeah. We normally when we get music or when we
get me.
Yeah, when Quinn's here, we do musical goals. We do rotational tips, so the camera will rotate 1 degree for every dollar we get. When we hit 180, when we've turned this upside down, Quinn will be performing
I'm a Believer, and we were talking about the monkeys, so yeah, and
that's by the monkeys. We've been subtly teasing this.
Yes.
Hey.
And then once we hit $360 tips, the Beetlejuice will be performing All Star by Smash Mouth. And eagle-eared viewers may note that both of these songs are featured in the 2001 film Shrek.
Oh no, I've been pronouncing it Shriek.
Oh, you're probably
like
right.
22 years of being
You're
wrong.
probably right. You're probably right.
Okay.
2001 film Shriek.
Okay, you have me terrified from it.
There is like a scary ogre in it, so it probably is
it's
Shriek.
Like, yeah, he wants people to leave his swamp.
Get out of my swamp! I'm an auger.
Shoot the swamps. There's a deep cut. Okay. So let's see. So this is where we need to start. So we're gonna kind of do some actual episode filming.
Is that Shrek right there? No, behind you. Behind you. There's like a green head in the sky. Yeah, is that Shrek?
No, it's like a pig thing.
Oh, okay.
It's like a slime pig. But so we're actually gonna do a little bit of recording during this, because like basically I have a big project that I want to work on, but I need to record like a quick, like before we get, I'm basically gonna yell time skip and it'll be back to us, but like
fair.
Basically I'm gonna be ripping out and restoring a forest to change the seasons.
Yeah.
So that'll take a while.
Let it rip.
And like I'll use like replay mod to. It really looked like it was getting dark. I'll use replay mod to build like a, what do you call it, thing later.
Sure.
Time lapse.
Time lapse. NJ Coffee Junkie says, "Good morning, Hill siblings. Hi all."
Hey, Joyzy.
Hey, Joyzy Junkie. How you doing?
Hope you got your coffee.
Hope you got your coffee. Hope you went down to Dunkin' and got a cruller.
Isn't a cruller more of a Massachusetts thing?
Yeah, probably.
Have you been, Oh, did you ever watch Everybody Hates Kevin?
I did. I think I'm one of the people who recommended it to you.
Oh, yeah. I'm still, like, in season 1, I think. Like...
It's quite good.
It's so stressful, though. It's one of those shows that, like, I get stressed out watching it, and
yeah, it's very stressful.
Mom used to do that when we were kids. She'd be like, we get to a certain part of a TV show, and she'd be like, this is too much for me. I'm gonna step out for a minute. And it's like...
Yeah, that's why she could never watch the movie What About Bob with us.
Yeah, but the problem is that, like, I pause it when I walk away. And so, like, I come back, and I'm like, oh, I'm still so stressed out. I'm like...
Well, yeah, then you're gonna have a fun time watching The Bear season 2.
Oh my god.
Very stressful.
So the thing about The Bear, though, is it's generally about people being competent. Like, the thing that stresses me out so much I have to walk away is when people are, like, screwing something up through incompetence, if that makes any sense.
I see.
Like, so, like, I'm just like, oh my gosh, how can people be this stupid? This is like, why? Like, you're supposed to be good at this. This is your whole job. Like, the characters, not the actors, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, the characters are in a situation where I'm like, you should know better than this. This is... Why? Why are you like this? Like, it's the sort of thing, like, if I was running a D&D table and the players were trying to do this, I'd be like, okay, you know, everybody here, give me an insight check, and then basically I'd just be like, whoever rolled highest, I'd be like, you realize that thanks to your 20 years of martial training, you could simply do this. That is an option you have, you know, like, and they might still not do it. I'm not gonna force them to do anything, but like, just in case that, like, for some reason they just the players didn't see something that would have been obvious to the characters.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll just give them a little, like, this is a valid approach that exists. Okay. So do you mind if I do a quick recording here? Okay.
No, I will be silent.
Thank you. Howdy, y'all. Joe Hills here, recording as I always do in Nashville, Tennessee. And today on the HermitCraft server, I have a bunch of diamonds from mining that I am going to apply to purchasing shears. That's right. We will switch back every staircase. Ooh, not well. Switching back to first-person mode. Intro's over. Whatever. Anyway, we are at Pearlescent Moon's shear shop because we need to drop some diamonds. We need to purchase these shears to harvest the lichen in my enchanted little haunted forest back there. Can we see it out the window? No. We cannot. Okay. Shear and Connery. Okay, that's worth 8 diamonds. Boom. We now have some shears with efficiency 5, unbreaking 3, and mending. Classic. So, we can now take those and begin the process of swapping over the seasons. Spring is about to sprung here on HermitCraft as I plant a bunch of those fancy new, oh boy, what do you call those rose-colored trees? Cherry blossoms. We're going to plant some cherry blossoms here and then recover them with lichen. So in order to do that, I got to reharvest all this lichen. Yeah, let's get a lot of lichen. This will take a minute. But, you know what? I did want to talk to y'all a little bit as well. I just got back from Wisconsin. I had a really exciting trip, and I actually got some really fun ideas about how I could do some fan meetups in the future once the trading card game launches. So, why don't we get into that a little bit? Time skip. Stop recording. I'll record, like, that monologue. Whoa,
Sure.
Wrong button. I'll record that monologue on my own. But yeah.
Wow, it's really hard for me not to punctuate everything you say with music or
I
some
know.
kind of banter. I'm like,
I'm so sorry. And when I was like, "What's the name of that tree?" I was like, "Oh, I'm being so." I wasn't doing that to be mean, but I'm like, that's unintentionally the meanest thing. Okay, for replay mod here, I need to add event marker. I need to let's put page up maybe. Done.
sure.
Did that put in a marker? Okay, cool. So, yep, we are just hanging out here on the HermitCraft server. I've got Quinn Hills in the studio. We are out of recording mode.
Y'all.
I am so happy.
We're live mode.
We are in live mode. So yeah, just to give you a quick run through of the sort of stuff that I will record a monologue talking about to voice over this. I'm going to talk about how I tested the travel rig for streaming and how I hope to use that in the future so that fans can challenge me to TCG games and that we can like live stream from conventions and stuff.
That'd be a lot of fun.
I'm going to talk a little bit about the pinball tournament and what I learned about how strong our local field is and how I'm hoping to encourage. I was talking to a few folks last night.
I'm in the field.
I know, right? I was talking to a few folks about like, y'all, we could really be hitting the road with this, you know?
Yeah, let's get the show on the road, get party bus.
Yep.
Load them up.
Well, and I was saying too, like, you know, even if we don't end up like saving money by lodging together, even if it's like, oh hey, I'm driving, if you want, bring your camp chairs or whatever to the next local tournament. I'll throw them in the back of my car and bring them up while you fly. You know, that sort of thing.
Yes.
Like, there's ways that we can help each other with that.
Ways of doing things.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Monet.
That's like the first song that I ever remember hearing.
Yeah, me too, because it was so big at the Showbiz Pizza spin-off Chuck E. Cheese.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I remember that
It was
DZ, but I guess maybe it was a Chuck E. Cheese. You were older, you probably have a better recollection.
It was definitely Chuck E. Cheese, yeah. Because
it was the Charles E. Cheese.
Yeah. DZ didn't really have music. Like, they might have, like, you know, or like they might have had like radio playing or whatever, but like
sure.
Chuck E. Cheese was like where
Chuck E. Cheese was
had a
blasting
band.
it.
Yeah, like they had a show.
The Rockafire Explosion were performing that song. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. So I think Moni Moni was one of the songs that.
That's just I think I was like 2 or 3. That's the first song I remember hearing and like dancing to.
Yeah. So
by Billy Idol or Kool Moe Dee.
Yeah. Saucefire says, "Howdy Hillses," and the rest of the hills. That is not going to catch on. But yeah, howdy
Sauce.
Not
going to catch on.
Hey, we got our first tip of the stream rolling in from Jeanette, tippin 20, who writes, "Muzak Fund." Woo! Get that on the abacus there.
Thank you, Jeanette. Or Janet.
We're going to rotate the camera 20 degrees angular.
20 degrees angular. Which means we are now just 160 away from me singing "I'm a Believer."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Moni Moni.
Moni Moni. Ride the pony.
Yeah. Let's so yeah, that's yeah, I don't know. The last time I went to a Chuck E. Cheese for a birthday party was like maybe 4 to 6, maybe 6 years ago. It might have
not that long ago. The last time I went to a Chuck E. Cheese birthday party, it was like
well, I guess
30 years ago.
I guess what I'm saying is, so somebody says that they replaced the robots on stage. I think that the one I went to, which was like the one down in like Brentwood or something.
Okay.
Down that way.
Yeah.
I think they had just a huge projector screen, but they still had I think they did songs like
they animated the band.
Yeah,
and
they
put them on the projector.
They animated and projected the band, so they still had like the spirit of it.
Sure.
But I don't know. That might not even be the case today. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
it's been enough years. They might have just been like, you know what, kids really don't like is music.
Yeah, children and music do not mix.
Yeah, and it's like also all the games now. It's like, you know what kids love is the same games that are on their parents' iPads. Let's just make giant touch screens.
Yeah, let's have.
I hate that.
Temple Run. I'm just gonna take like a 55-inch TV and put Temple Run on it.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody asked for that.
Yeah. NJ says, to be fair, though, they are still creepy as heck. Yeah, I mean, so even though it's a larger temple, it is still scary. That's fair.
I think NJ was talking about the Rockafire Explosion.
Yeah, I know. The animated version of the band is still creepy. Yeah, they made sure to they made sure to animate them in the Uncanny Valley.
Yeah. People come for the creepy characters, and they stay for the yummy pizza. Chuck E. Cheese. What are you doing right now? What is all this?
So I am, in order to swap out, basically I'm changing the seasons for the forest here. So this was like, I had like fall, which was just like these with some like orange and yellow and whatever mixed in. Then for winter I covered it with snow, and then for the end of winter I removed the snow and put some lichen on there. Now I'm changing it out for spring.
You're not
and
liking it anymore.
Yeah, so the thing is I need to recover all the lichen because I'm gonna, after I put in like green leaves and stuff here, or pink leaves from the cherry blossom trees, I'm going to recover them with lichen, because it's supposed to be like kind of a spooky haunted forest. So like the snow ones would have, this is glow lichen, it glows in the dark. So like,
oh, so at night it's a little spooky.
yeah, it's like a little grove of spooky trees.
Cool.
It looks really cool at night, which right now you're not getting the full effect.
I believe you.
Yeah, we're doing the leg work for that. But yeah,
It seems more like arm work. You're not really
that's true. And wing work. I'm doing the wing work.
doing the wing work.
Can't reach those easily. It's fine.
Lakshmi13 says, growing up, I was jealous of kids who got to go to Chuck E. Cheese. Then when my kids were getting old enough for it, I excitedly went into one to check it out and was not impressed.
It's gone downhill. I mean,
It's gone down. Yeah, and if you're not going in with any like nostalgia factor at all, then that probably.
No, I would say it's worse if you are. I was so.
Oh, you were.
I was so much more disappointed than.
You raised the bar higher. Okay.
Well, because like I was.
Joe and Lakshmi13 fight.
Well, because it's like, okay, well, how much skee ball do they have? How much stuff to climb around? Like,
you knew what to expect.
I was looking for certain things, and it's just like all these giant iPad games. The other thing is they don't use tokens anymore.
What?
They use these like charged swipe cards.
Oh, it's like Dave and Buster.
Yeah. But the thing is, the swipe cards, like half the readers are like super finicky. So you've got these kids who are standing in front of machines just trying to swipe the cards at the right speed. And like, hopefully they swapped those out with like RFID ones since then. But like, you know, tap cards at least.
Yeah.
Because like the swipe cards, you just have kids standing in front of the machine like, Dad, why won't it work? And then the dad's like trying to swipe the card, and it's just like those readers are really unreliable. Everywhere I've ever gone with one of those, it's been super unreliable.
Or I don't know, maybe just be like Game Galaxy and charge a game fee at the door.
Yeah,
and then not have to deal with anything.
Well, the problem with that is the kids would never, like, you'd have one kid on the same game for 5 hours. It encourages the kids to move around if they have to occasionally get...
I see. Tokens. If they have to think about money.
Saucefire writes, now they just chip the children when they enter the building. They actually do have a special stamp where they stamp both the parent and the child when you come in on your arm, and they check.
That has a microchip in it?
No, but they check that they match when you leave.
That's I guess that's for the best.
It makes
I hadn't thought of that
sense
before.
in
Something
some
like that.
level, but like, they're just like it's
somebody could probably like dupe the stamps though, right?
Oh, I mean, if you actually cared, you could do it.
Yeah.
Like, it's, like, yeah. I think we might need to buy more shears. And the swipe cards also keep track of the tickets you earn. And so, like, then you don't have physical tickets. Which I guess from an ecological standpoint is better,
it's
but
good,
like,
but yeah, I love having like piles of tickets and being like, yes.
Yeah, kids are very, you know, tactile.
Sure.
So like having the tickets is better than having like a number go up on a card.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's like it's a reward you can see. Which I like.
Yeah, physical components to things. But, like, it seems to me like the whole point of going to an arcade is to play games with mechanisms that you could not recreate at home cheaply or cost-effectively. And the iPad games are the opposite of that.
Yep, absolutely.
It's exactly what you get on the tablet, just bigger. Whereas, like, skee ball or pinball, it's like you need a lot of space for those, and they're expensive, and a lot of families wouldn't be able to justify the cost or the space expense.
Exactly.
So, yeah, that's something. But, yeah, folding the tickets over into 5 so you could count them faster, like, stuff like that. There's all sorts of little stuff there, too.
Yeah, a lot has been lost. Yes, Quill makes a good point. Also, having physical tickets is good for when you decide you can't buy anything good with your remaining tickets, and you give them to some 7-year-old and make their day. You can't give people your tickets.
That's You can't.
Unless you give away your card, I guess.
Yeah, and that has your tokens on it.
Yeah, it's got everything on it.
Shree715 says, I don't mind them having the iPad games as long as that's not all they have. Well, the big thing, too, though, is this is going to be me ranting. This is a work...
Joe Rant!
Drant! This is a...
Drant time! It's a Drant time! All right, let's do the Drant.
I gotta say, one thing that infuriates me when I go to these modern
What,
arcades,
Joe?
and all they have are these newfangled iPad machines, these large screens, they're touch screens.
Oh my God!
They're capacitive. But you know what? You know what really needs capacity?
What?
Is the workforce. Back in the day, you had to have folks on staff at every arcade, at every Chuck E. Cheese, who understood how to solder, who understood electronics. You know, these days, they're just like, oh, well, we can't find employees that are skilled enough to maintain these machines. No, you refuse to train and then compensate fairly.
Yes.
Employees that can maintain these arcade machines. It's not that no one wants to work anymore, it's that no one wants to train people to work, no one wants to pay people to work. It is just corporate laziness. And you can eat a chicken at that.
Woo!
But no, I genuinely do believe that.
That was a Drant.
Like really though, like it used to be that you could, as a 16-year-old, get a job where you might go help somebody maintain something like this.
Yes,
you might not be...
sort of an apprentice type role.
Yeah, well, and it's not necessarily that you were hired as an apprentice, but like...
No.
Okay, you're hired to work the ticket counter, but after close, there might be like, well, some people are mopping. The guy who's repairing the skee-ball machine would be like, hey, I need you to hold this open for me. You know?
And you get to observe.
You get to observe, and then...
And learn, and maybe ask some questions, like, oh, why did you do that?
Yeah, and then the next time the skee-ball machine breaks, if it broke the same way, you might be able to fix it yourself.
Yes.
Or you might, you might be able to ask, like, hey, I saw this machine keeps breaking this way. How do I fix that when it happens? Because kids are always sad when they come up to it and it's broken.
Right.
You know? And so it's like, okay, we've replaced all the machines that can break with machines that almost never break. Mm-hmm. And there is a value to that, but there is also something lost.
Yep.
And
sure is.
You know, I feel like having hands-on experience working with machines is something that's becoming more and more inaccessible to youth. That's one of the reasons I really want to get a pinball machine that we actually own so that Corinne and I can do work on it. Because I don't really feel super comfortable letting her work on machines I'm renting. If I'm doing stuff on that, it's like I've cleared it with the... It's like, you know, I'll say to the owner, hey, this part broke. I've ordered this replacement part. I'm going to swap it out, you know, that sort of thing. And, like, just so they can sanity check me and say, like, oh, no, don't use that part. I'm actually, you know, for sure. I'll send you a different one, you know, like, get this instead. Or, like, you know, I don't feel comfortable with you doing that repair on my machine. I'd rather hire somebody to come to your place and fix it, you know.
Yeah.
But, like, if it's our machine, it's not okay if Corinne breaks it, but it's my problem, not somebody else's problem.
Yes.
And part of being a parent is that you have to deal with your kids breaking stuff. And
well, that's how we learn.
Exactly, and especially in the process of learning. If you're not giving your kids opportunities to break things where you can absorb the damage to some degree, you're not giving your kids the best opportunities to learn. Not every opportunity to learn has to involve potentially breaking something that costs a lot of money, but like kids should feel like they are being trusted sometimes. And
yes,
like, that's a responsibility to help fix the pinball machine, because this is something that they know is important to me.
Exactly, and we shouldn't punish failure, because that's just part of the learning process.
Yeah, and like if there's something that's particularly like, oh man, if you screw this up, you're gonna waste $8,000. I should be doing that step. She might be observing that step, but like, you know.
Yes, but that's something that's possible with a pinball machine and not a TV hooked up to a single board computer.
Yeah.
That's Temple Run.
No.
Like, okay.
I think at least the Temple Run has like a wheel controller or something.
Okay.
But like, still, it's not.
Right.
You know,
it's like, okay, we might need to recalibrate the wheel.
It's not as sophisticated as some of this.
Yes.
The stuff that used to be in these arcades, like you know, when I was working at the styrofoam factory, they hired a lot of guys that they met through bowling. The management had was part of like the local city bowling league. And they would hire guys to work on these like gigantic injection mold presses.
Oh yeah.
Not to work the line and like take the products out from the machine and put them in boxes, but to actually do work on the presses themselves. From the bowling alley, they would hire the guys who they saw were doing a good job of maintaining the pin machines. Because, like, you know, there's, like, the pin reset machines.
Yeah.
You know, and because it's the same guys there all the time. So they'd see the same guy doing a good job for, like, you know, a year or two.
Yeah.
And they'd say, hey, would you want to work on bigger machines? We'll pay for your training, and you could make more working for us. Because the stuff we're producing, you know, is, you know, makes a lot more money than the bowling alley generates, you know?
Yeah.
It's not that your job isn't important. It's because your job is important and you did a good job at it for 2 years that we're like, you seem like a good guy. We're willing to take a risk paying to have you trained.
Right.
You know, and I felt like that was a good pipeline. It's not a perfect pipeline, but, you know, you get guys who are mechanically minded into roles where they can do more than they were doing.
Right.
And, which also, like, you know, I'm not gonna say like, oh, when you're working somewhere, the customer's always right. But like, if someone's not a jerk to you, you know, put on your best face, because you never know, that might be your next job opportunity.
Yeah.
You never know who you're talking to.
Well, yeah, and it's not necessarily that they're always right. It's just like, don't treat them poorly. I think that's kind of the main sentiment we should take away from that.
Yeah. But like, it's but if we stop having kind of readily available opportunities for people to work their way up working on machines, we're gonna get less and less able to work with machines as a society.
Well, and this is a broader issue where I have a lot of friends who are even in like professional or white collar jobs where there's just no upward mobility anymore. And because people at the top aren't able to retire or they don't want to retire. And so yeah, there's no growth or succession. It's not great.
No, it's not. Well, and that's one of the things that you know, you might see, like, back in the radio days, you would have only a limited number of slots on, like, the biggest stations in New York. But the folks who, like, were, you know, like, the call screeners and not guest hosts, the call screeners and, like, producer tech people, like, would possibly fill in and host the show. The people who are occasionally on mic, you know, the host might occasionally say, you know, I was at this restaurant this weekend. Hey, Frank, you ever go to this restaurant? And then the guy, like, looks up from, like, his actual job and is like, yeah, I took my wife there for our anniversary. Blah, blah, blah. Well, did you see this when you were there? You know, like, that guy who, you know, has a job that he's not hosting the show, he occasionally gets to speak on the air so that the audience knows him.
Sure.
When the host goes on vacation, you know, Frank gets to host the show. Or, you know, if another spot opened up at the station, that guy might get to, you know, take over the 5 a.m. slot or whatever.
Right.
But like it felt like there was like something you could do to eventually.
Yeah, and it felt like you as an employee were appreciated and seen.
You were getting airtime, even if it's just a few minutes every day. Like the audience knows you exist,
right?
And that's huge. Lost Cult Music Tips 3 and says, cheers, love the Post profile. That's the Washington Post profile.
Thank you for tipping.
I have rotated
Lost Cult Music.
I've rotated us now 3 degrees angular. We are now 23 degrees angular. 180 is our goal to hear Quinn sing I'm a Believer. 360 is our goal for the Beetlejuice to sing what was it? All-Star.
All-Star.
Sparky 1073. Woo!
Woo!
I'm gonna rotate the camera now.
Thank you, Sparky 1073.
Woo! Oh, hey, Keralis just logged on.
Hey, Keralis just logged on.
Keralis has been like traveling a lot, and he hasn't been around much. So maybe it'd be a fun treat for us to go sing to him, like welcome back to the server.
Welcome back.
Okay, he's at negative 1804.
The dreams were your ticket out.
How far out is it?
Welcome back to the same old place that you laughed about. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back.
Yeah, we're just gonna wander all the way back to Keralisville.
Keralisville, USA.
There's somebody. Howdy, fellow hermit.
Howdy, fellow hermit.
Just flying past somebody. I didn't even see who that was. Probably No, probably not XP. Probably Doc. Unless that was Keralis. Nope, that was Keralis. He just flew past us the other way. I was like, it's funny somebody's coming from the direction of Keralis' place, but oh, he's going like right where I was.
Is it possible to fly faster than someone else?
Yeah, but it burns more fuel, and I don't
see.
have an unlimited amount on me. Let's. Two hermits like ships in the night. Maybe something like Keralis, it's been too long. Keralis, I wrote you this song. Keralis, I missed your bud. Keralis, all the love. Something, I don't know.
Okay.
So he should be around here somewhere. 2190. 22 something. Okay. Let's see if he's still moving. 2209, 2230. He is still moving. No, but he stopped. 22. Is he here?
In the year 2195.
Is he in the Redstone shop?
Is he trying to evade us?
No, he's not that smart.
That's mean.
I know. Okay. 2195. Okay. What is 200 blocks away? Wait, he's at level 64. He's at sea level. Is he over
He's in the sea lab underneath the bottom of the sea.
At the bottom. 2212.
I'm trying to find my way to. Oh, look at this back. What is this place?
It's for trading and stuff.
Keralis, I missed you so much. Keralis, I missed you, but it's been too long. So I wrote a song and I didn't rehearse it. Well, this is gonna sound a bit off, but I'm glad you logged on. So I wrote you this song. Hey, Keralis. Hey, XP.
Hi, Joe.
Hello.
Hi.
That's a beautiful song, Joe.
Thank you. Thank you. I didn't realize you were here too,
Welcome.
XP. Sorry to interrupt.
No. We're just about to play a game, and I'm gonna crush this guy.
Oh. Oh, good luck, Keralis. He's pretty uncrushable.
Thank you, Joe.
He's gonna push back.
See.
But you know
Good
what?
luck, Keralis, not XB, but ha.
Yeah, because you need luck.
Hey! Wash your mouth, man.
You wouldn't
Wash
be
your mouth.
interested. I know you're streamer. You wouldn't
I
be
am.
interested in officiating, would you?
yeah.
Well,
No?
are you guys recording this? Because like I've got my sister in the studio. We're kind of doing some musical stuff, and I don't want to like.
I was
Oh.
planning on recording it.
Yeah, I'll
Yeah,
let you
we'll
guys. I'll
record,
let you guys
yeah.
have it. Because yeah, I kind of need to work on my big project anyway.
How
But
Yeah, no problem.
no, it's
rude.
fine. Well, like I
How
said, I'm
rude.
hanging out with my sister who's playing guitar, and so
Alright,
you know,
alright.
I don't want to be in y'all's way. But y'all have a great time. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you, Joe. You too. Bye-bye.
Bye.
I'm sorry, I wasn't pushing to talk at the point.
That's okay. OJ Coffee Junkie says I almost spit my OJ out.
Yep. Delg says yet another stream where I am jealous of Quinn's vocal range.
Me too.
Bama Girl says every stream with Quinn has me jealous of her virtual range. And Puppet, howdy Puppet, welcome to the stream.
Range.
Vocal range. So we just got a little fun moment with Keralis.
Fun moment
And
with
XP.
Keralis.
I actually, yeah, because that's the thing is XP.
I don't think I've heard Keralis' voice before. He
Oh.
sounds kind of like that guy.
He's Polish.
Oh, okay.
He lives in Sweden these days, but which is kind of like, I guess you would say, Poland's Upper Peninsula, if
Oh,
you
okay.
will.
He sounds a little like that prawn from the Muppets. What's that guy's name?
Oh,
Is it Pepe?
Pepe the Prawn. I think.
Yeah.
Please don't break the shears. Fine.
Don't break the shears, Joe. Don't break the shears. Are you
broke my
reeling in the
shears.
shears? Stone away the. I don't know what you stow away with shears.
Yeah. So, unfortunately, with these mending shears, I gotta repair them, which is like its own whole thing.
Wait, you have to mend the mending shears?
Yeah, it's a hassle. Hey,
Do
you
you
got a
have-
tip rolling in via PayPal from Tiffany for 10. Thank you very much,
Yay!
Tiffany. Woo!
Thank you, Tiffany, for 10. Thank you, Tiffany, for 10.
Woo, putting 10 degrees angular spin on that. That's gonna bring it to 43.
43.
Tips are welcome via paypal.me/JoeHills and YouTube Super Chat.
Just 137 away, people.
Okay.
I thought love was only true in fairy tales.
Was it meant for someone else? Not for me? Okay. So, my iron content here is not great.
You can take supplements for that, Joe.
Yeah, I was thinking I might.
You probably
supplement
should.
this. The problem is these other shears I think are going to be slower than the efficiency 5
It's a
ones.
trade-off, huh?
Yeah. Well, no, this still seems pretty
That seems
fast.
okay.
Was it much faster?
I think it was a little faster.
Oh, yeah, there's like a little moment.
Uh-huh. There's a moment. Not that moments are bad.
Yeah. But, okay, well, in terms of replay mod, I need to disconnect and reconnect if we're gonna go mend the mending shears. And let's go repair all my stuff at that point, because I got a bunch of other tools back at the base that need to be repaired.
Yeah.
So we're gonna save this glow lichen.
Who mends the mending shears?
Let's move this stuff out of the way from the thing here.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, what was that?
oh, that's
One of your
mimic.
pets?
Yeah, that's up here. He's. I need to build a better habitat for him. I don't think that one's very enriching. I should write that down. Enriching habitat. J-Car says, "Are you switching to Kick on 1st July because Twitch doesn't allow multi-streams?" I'm actually already simulcasting to joehills.net.
Yeah.
/live. So you Twitch folks who are worried that you might not be able to watch my streams anymore if you don't have YouTube access, you can bookmark joehills.net /live. When I go live on YouTube, I'll be going live there.
Groovy.
I might be finding some sort of way to run a second simultaneous show on Twitch, but it wouldn't be the same show. So it's not simulcasting if I'm sending different data. I might find a way to stream something to Twitch, but it won't be this. The good stuff is going to go with the services that allow me to simulcast. The Twitch is going to get something artistic, maybe, if I can get it set up. There's some tech and equipment stuff that I've got to sort, and I've got until July 1st, so that might not be happening on July 1st.
I see.
Deruby Prince 20 says, "Howdy Joe, howdy Quinn. I love your shirt, Quinn."
Thank you. This is actually the same. I didn't think of this earlier, but it's the same shirt I'm wearing in the Washington Post.
I did notice that, but I wasn't sure if it was intentional. And
Not intentional.
I was like, I'm not gonna call that out because, like, on the off chance, that, like, you know,
how dare you,
I don't
Joseph?
want to be like, why are you wearing the same shirt? You only got one shirt. What's wrong with you? Do laundry.
Yeah. I mean, it would. There probably is like a type of person who would wear this shirt like every day after they're in the Washington Post
like,
to
"Now
see
I
if they
wanna
get
be
recognized.
recognized."
Like, yeah, that's me in the Washington Post.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of guys on the roof here.
Roof guys.
Roof guys.
Roof guys and roofing guys. They're roofing guys.
Okay.
I didn't mean that.
Yeah, I realized that. All of a sudden, it's like that got real creepy.
I just roof-ish. There we go.
Yeah.
I just add a Y onto things, people, and I don't always think about it.
Yeah. Oh, I saw this great thing on Twitch, or not Twitch, on Twitter, where it's like, if we're replacing the final syllable of fireman with fighter, maybe we should do that with other things, like instead of postman or mailman, we have mail fighter or post fighter.
Yeah, I saw that as well in the Garbage Man, Garbage Fighter.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. That's
Yeah.
good.
Okay, where am I going? I'm like,
Ah!
into the darkness.
Into the darkness. We're going into the darkness. Into the darkness. It was a Star Trek movie that I didn't particularly like. Wow, 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 wow.
Okay, so let me make sure my monster sounds are hostile creatures off, because once I start hitting these things with swords, it's gonna blow out the audio.
Ooh.
Because there's like a bajillion of these things crammed into a small space.
Oh my.
Yeah, you don't want.
Oh my.
Oh my.
Oh my gosh.
Ooh ah fooga guys. Ooh ah fooga guys.
Everybody to the limit. The cheat is to the limit.
Everybody to the limit. Come on. Well, Delg says, yeah, they don't have police fighter. They have bootlicker.
I agree.
Yeah.
Abolish the police.
Yeah, who is that?
Something we don't need.
Search.twitter.com. I guess if I search for male fighter and bootlicker, that'll probably find the tweet. So that way, yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
I like that typeface too. That's like a Final Fantasy 1 looking typeface right there.
I think that is the Final Fantasy 1 typeface. I think that's just it.
There we go.
Like that's not a coincidence that your brain went there.
Nope.
Because you're right.
Yeah. Thank you, brain, for being correct.
Yeah. But yeah, gender-neutral job titles: firefighter, male fighter, garbage fighter.
Yeah.
So that was from Sv2 on Twitter, giving credit where credit's due.
Yes, thank you, Sv2.
Sv2. Okay. Oh, you're right. Those do mend pretty quick. Okay. I guess unlike the diamond, they don't have a lot of charges in them.
They do say diamonds are forever.
Yeah.
Diamonds are forever. Scoobity boo ba.
Dibbida-bop-bop-boop.
Zippity. Skippity bit.
Okay. I'm looking
Okay,
at what we
okay.
got here, and boy.
What you got here? What are you
Space
doing?
I'm gonna need more space. Is the thing, I think.
There's a Will Rogers quote about that. Buy space. They're not making any more of it.
Okay. Yeah. So we're gonna go grab more shulker boxes, and then we're gonna
Nice.
we're gonna log out and log back in.
That sounds good. When do we get more For All Mankind? Speaking of space.
I think that's like October, November. Which really sucks, because I always think of that as like a July show or June show, since season 1 takes place in June 1969. But what I really want is more Severance. I think they were already done filming before the writer's strike hit, but I'm not sure how that's impacting things.
Yeah, I also saw something about like internal drama between the showrunner and some other creative people involved. So I don't know what happened with that.
Interesting.
I don't know what's going on there.
Yeah, I don't know. Not my job to know.
Not my well, if it is my job, I don't know. I'm severed, baby.
Baby. Got that brain snip.
Snip, snip, whip, whip. I'm severed, baby. I mean, there are like entire hours in my day that I just don't remember, but I don't know if that's because I've been severed or just nothing noteworthy happened and was committed to memory.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Did that happen to you?
Yeah, you know, every at least once a day, I'm like, hey everybody, I'm gonna go lay down and hallucinate wildly for, I don't know, 5 to 8 hours. Talk to you later. Bye. We're figuring out what's going to go. Devonian Dream says, oh dang it, I forgot to log out and log back in. Devonian Dream says, I just finished Severance recently. It was good. And I don't think I would have heard of it if not for you. So thanks, Joe. Hey,
If
I'm glad.
not for you, I wouldn't have heard of Severance.
Oh yeah, Silo is wrapping up.
Oh yeah, still
Final
need to
episode.
start that one.
Yeah, final episode's tomorrow of season 1. The pacing that they're taking with it is an interesting choice. I'm excited to see where they go with it, because they're deviating enough from the books that it's a interesting adaptation, even if you've read the books. They're not doing anything where I'm like, oh, you're missing the point of the books. It's like they're taking the point of the books and telling the story differently, and I like that.
That's good. I like. That's kind of like there should be some art in adapting, and it shouldn't just be a one-to-one thing, because otherwise, like, just read the book.
Yeah.
If you just want the thing to be the book, then just read the book.
Yeah. Thematically, all the changes they're making generally fit the theme. There are a few things where they're dumbing down the science, if this makes any sense.
Sure.
Like for example, there's in the book they have small oil, what do you call those, like a jerry, like an oil pump or something, where they actually like pump oil for the generator up from below the
Jerry.
side. Yeah, you know the big rocking things.
Yeah.
I think that's an oil
I think
jerry.
that's a Kramer.
Okay. Well, I think that's where jerry can comes from, though, because those would be like the cans that you would fill up from the oil jerry. Oil derrick. Sorry, Derek.
Derek,
Jerry.
it is a name.
They're both
It's a
like
name,
they're
it's a
both
Derek.
like office worker names. Like Derek seems like a guy you would work with. Jerry seems like a guy you would work with. Oil derrick, yeah. So they've got like a small oil derrick inside the silo in the books that pumps oil up from underground, and then they burn the oil inside of a generator to power the silo. But
It's fair.
yeah. In the show, they're just like, well, we're above this steam vent that just spins the generator directly. And it's like, okay, like because they're like, there's a big, one of the big plot points is in the book is they have to shut down the generator at some point to do maintenance on it. And the thing is, like, all of the systems of the silo use power, like the air circulation and purification and water.
Yeah, there's a lot going on there.
There's a lot going on there. So in the book, it's tense because they're like, we've never shut off the main generator before, but it's been running for we don't know how long, centuries, maybe 1,000 years, but like something in it is broken, and we need to power it down and fix it, and we don't know if we can do that quickly enough to like keep life support going.
Yeah.
And we don't know if we can start it back up again because we've never started it up in the lifetimes of anybody here. And so that's where the thing comes.
Start it up.
That's where the tenseness of the situation comes from. Like, we might be pretty screwed.
Yeah.
If we have to, they're like, we can run some things off the fallback generator for like maybe a day or two, but like we don't know. We've never had to do that, so we don't even know if the fallback generator is going to be sufficient to do this. There's a lot of questions.
Fair.
So it's a tense situation in the book, but in the show they're like, well, the steam that comes up from the underground vent is going to build pressure, so we only have like 20 minutes to fix the generator, because if we cap this vent for too long, the steam pressure is going to blow the cap, and then like it'll explode and kill everybody. And it's like, I'm not sure that underground steam would necessarily build pressure that quickly.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I understand that, yes, it's coming through at a high enough pressure to spin the generator now, but, like, that doesn't really... There's a little bit of implausibility to me that you can't somehow divert the steam, or like there's a better solution than just going, oh no, we're gonna blow this steam cap, like we're gonna create a situation where we're in danger, where the physics make 0 sense. Like every other change I was 100% fine with, but like little stuff like that where I'm like, I don't know if this tracks. I don't think that's how Steam works.
Are you at least able to understand the reason why they might have changed it?
Like, well, that's the thing, though.
Does it simplify something else to make that change, or like, what do you think they were thinking as a writer?
I think they were saying, maybe people being worried about the power coming back on isn't dramatic enough.
I see.
Right? But, and so I think they wanted, like, kind of racing the clock.
Right, something very visual.
Something very visual where it's like, you've got all these guys with pulleys who are, like, disassembling the sides of the generator. Because that's the other thing, though, too, is basically they have to open up the sides of the generator.
Yeah. So
that they can fix it. But at that point, this is what drove me crazy. If they just opened the vent, the steam would disperse enough because the generator is now open that even though it would be hot maybe working inside the generator, like with the walls off of it, the steam would just rise and heat the silo. They could have said the whole silo, if we're not converting this heat energy from the steam into electrical energy to power a bunch of shit, like then we're gonna have problems. The whole silo is gonna overheat. But instead they're just like, we have to keep the steam vent capped while we work on this. And I'm looking at it, I'm like, given the size of the space and like everything, I'm like, the physics, just the math doesn't.
Yeah, and we like. So like hearing what happens in the book and knowing that Jonathan Larson made the power being out dramatically interesting in a visual medium.
Yeah.
Right?
Well,
it can be done.
Yeah, and it's also a time of general unrest in the silo. Like, it's like the
maybe
whole,
they should take a nap.
The whole silo is undergoing a crisis of confidence at the same time that the power, like, they're like, if we don't shut the generator off and switch to the backup to do these repairs now, the whole generator could just basically thrash itself to death. Basically, the central what do you call it? The impeller, what do you call the spinning thing that catches the steam inside of a generator?
I wouldn't know.
But you know what I'm talking about.
I know what you mean. It's not my area of expertise.
Yeah. But basically, that thing, the turbine. Thank you. I was like, I know there's a word for this, and I know it. Yeah, the turbine was like off balance, and they're like, the turbine is clanging against the sides of the generator, and it's getting wobbling worse and worse and worse.
Wibbly wobbly, timey-wimey.
Yeah, and they're just like, and it's getting measurably worse, measurably faster. The wobble is accelerating. So they're like, if we don't shut this thing down, it's going to tear itself apart, and then we won't be able to rebuild it.
Yeah.
You know? But so, this thing is, it's like, well, now is the absolute worst time for shutting off the power because the silo is freaking out because of a bunch of other stuff going on. And we're worried about civil unrest, we're worried about all sorts of things. And so that's where the tension comes from, is even just turning off the power for a day while they fix this is a nightmare. But in the show, they're like, we can maybe get 15, 20 minutes. So in some ways, the civil unrest element is less relevant because they're like, okay, it'll just be a half hour, or we have to turn it back on anyway, right? Or we have to unleash the steam anyway. So
the element isn't relevant. The element isn't relevant. Your civil unrest isn't relevant to the plots.
Lakshmi13 says, "Is this spoilers?" Now this is like pretty early. Like, this is not like a twist that the generator is needs repair.
It's expository.
It's something they know from the from the beginning. Like the silo is getting old is like one of the fundamentals of the show. Like, we've been in here a while.
Right. Silo's starting to have problems here.
And they're the sorts of problems that need to be fixed in using techniques that people have theorized you could open the generator up and fix it like this.
So this is a show about Chuck E. Cheese, where you have these mechanical things and you don't understand how to fix them. And you have to come up with solutions to phase them out or replace them.
The thing is, though, that I would say, unlike Chuck E. Cheese, though, like the people in this, like the people who like take care of the generator, know how the generator works.
Oh, I see.
They know how they know, like they know how it's assembled. They they are mechanics, but it's more that like the idea of shutting down the life support systems of the silo or switching them over to the backup generator, is just not politically viable.
I see.
It's not like, oh, hey, we do this once a year, every year as preventative maintenance. Okay, we're gonna swap that one out before we break it. But yeah, it's a really interesting show in terms of. I would recommend, if you're interested in adaptations, watch the show and read the book. You could do that in either order. This is not one where you have to read the book first.
Sure.
Because they kind of shuffled a few things in interesting ways where, okay, I'm just like, okay, wait, so is this group fulfilling the role of this other group? The plot relevance of different factions might be swapped around a little bit, but, so it keeps you on your toes with, like, the subterfuge.
Nice.
But, like, one thing I like about it is, objectively, all of the factions are working for what they believe is the good of the silo. There's nobody in there who's like, I want to seize power because I'm power hungry. Every single person who's like doing or leading something is just like, nobody else understands why this thing that I'm trying to do is important, and without it we'll all die.
Yeah.
And so it's it's a show about kind of to some degree them trying to reconcile these differences of priorities or opinions.
Yeah, that's fair.
So like the maintenance people need the generator repair.
Right.
And that's not something that anybody wants to approve. But like for them to just do it and
so there's a lot of bureaucracy.
Well, it's not necessarily bureaucracy because it's not bureaucracy implies layers.
Okay, there's not a lot of layers.
It's more that there's like the other people.
It's not like an ogre. Ogres are like
ogres have layers. Yeah. Which, just as a reminder, we are doing rotational tips today. I'm a believer at 180. Quinn will sing at 360. I'll be singing All Star as the Beetlejuice. But like it's more like the people who are in charge of other things at the silo are like, we've got a bunch of civil unrest and people being scared right now. Can we wait? Can you just give us a month to calm everybody down?
Right.
Because that's like I said, where the tension of the reset of the generator comes from in the books is it's legitimately just not a good time to plunge the silo into darkness, to have, like it's one of those things like living on a spaceship where like the air circulators are always running.
Right.
For the first time in these people's lives, all of these systems are gonna go silent.
Yes. The system is down.
The system is down. Is the scenario? Yeah. And so it's
now
like,
I'm understanding.
yeah, and so but
if
yeah,
you put things into Homestar Runner terms, then I completely understand.
yeah. But I like stories where everybody has a valid point, and they're all trying their best.
Yes.
And like as the book series goes on, there do end up being occasionally like there are definitely people in there that are selfish jerks or whatever.
Sure.
But like those factions aren't in play right now.
I see. Yeah,
And by the time they do show up, it's kind of like it serves as like a unifying enemy for these factions. And the thing is, though, the stakes for everything are super high because, like I said, that they're big on the death penalty. In this series, to some degree, this is also a series where one of the messages is like maybe we shouldn't have a death penalty, and it expresses that by having a lot of uses of the
having
death
a lot
penalty.
of death penalty. Yeah.
Yeah. So. Yeah, I'm going on, but my point is, it's a good adaptation. I'm expecting they're gonna stick.
You're generally pleased.
I'm generally pleased. One or two nitpicks that like. Yeah.
Okay.
Because to some degree, there is like a resource management engineering problem element to these books. Not as extreme as like The Martian.
Sure.
But like. Some of the problems that the people are dealing with are, like I said, like wobbling generator turbine physics.
Right.
And some of the problems that people are focused on are interpersonal stuff.
Sure. Yeah.
You know, some of them are more medical, biological. Some of it's more like tech. But yeah, it's good.
And that's a Joe wreck. A Drek.
Okay. It's getting dark out.
It's getting dark out now. Say goodnight to your friends.
Excuse me. Mr. Simon says, "Is this an adaptation of Wool?" Yeah, it is. Wool by Hugh Howey is the name of the first book in the Silo series. They named the TV show after the series in the same way that like Game of Thrones is book 1 of A Song of Ice and Fire, but they named the
Correct.
TV show after book 1.
Yeah.
So, yeah, with this they named it after the series, but book 1 is Wool.
I would argue that Game of Thrones is a fine title for this series.
Yeah, it's not a bad.
I think A Song of Ice and Fire is maybe just like a little more vague. Like I don't really know what that means as like as an uninitiated person, but like Game of Thrones, okay, what like people are fighting over thrones or something? Okay, cool.
Yeah. Kara K says the best stories use multiple core plots: person versus person, people versus people, people versus environment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's
I'm back in English class. I agree.
Yeah, and then also people versus God. Well, and I would argue that to some degree, like. I would argue to some degree there is a people versus God element as the story advances.
Oh.
In that, in like an Oppenheimer, like I have become death way,
Yeah.
where it's not necessarily so there's people versus environment, but then there's also to some degree if you think about like ancestor worship, like the ancestors of the people in the silo, or like the ancient humans who caused this apocalypse, are essentially God. Like, to some degree, like, yes, we're fighting the environment in the, like, day-to-day sense of, like, what the world is outside around us and the world underground and whatnot. But, like, in terms of history, we are fighting gods who wanted all humans dead. Or we are fighting gods who wanted humanity dead. So there is, like, it's not just like, oh, we live in a hostile environment. It's like, we live in a hostile environment that was created by our ancestors.
I see.
You know what I mean? Like, we are fighting an attempt on all of humanity. Something you can't control or reason with. Yeah, because it's the past. Like, to what degree is the past a god rather than an environment, if that makes any sense? I would argue that to some degree, people trying to learn about the past in this story is functionally similar to people in, like, a Lovecraftian story trying to understand magic.
Oh.
If that makes any sense.
I see.
Because, like, even though there's, like mechanical stuff like generators, air purifiers, water pumps, oil pumps, all that stuff is stuff they understand. A lot of everything else is just lost. Something you cannot experience unchanged. Yeah, that's the other thing. Is, like, understanding, like, you know, to some degree everybody's kind of taught, like, hey, we're lucky to be here alive in the silo because it's, like, humanity's last hope, right?
Sure.
But, like, they don't really know a lot about the time before. And to some degree, learning about the time before might drive you to dissatisfaction at, like, eldritch, like, horror levels.
Yeah.
Like,
have you seen the film Snowpiercer? Is it akin to that?
I have not, but yeah, but like it is
because in that film we're the last of humanity. Like the planet is completely like screwed over, and we're just all on this train that has to keep moving or we die.
Stay in the sun, yeah.
Exactly.
Something. Yeah, I've heard of it. But, so you're saying, though, like, people in the story who learn about how the world used to be, like, go crazy, kind of like Lovecraftian horror type stuff?
Yeah, well, there's, like, definitive, like, classes on the train, lower class, middle class, upper class, all of that. And there's just not a lot that's known. So that's why it reminded me of that.
Yeah.
I'll actually watch Silo and then be able to say.
But yeah, it is definitely, like, so I would argue that there is a people versus God element where, in this case, God is history and the ancestors. And knowledge. So, the show works on a lot of levels.
I mean, that's what a lot of early cultures designated God as anyway. You know, it was a replacement for science or knowledge or whatever. For the unexplained.
Yeah, like, you know, if you know, if somebody who had never conceived of a river or an ocean found some proof of rivers,
right?
Some record of them that could drive them crazy. The only water they know is in pipes.
Right.
And cups.
Yes.
There's no swimming.
Right.
In the silo. You know what I mean? Like,
Imagine a cup as far as the eye can see.
Yeah, imagine a really large bath. I don't even think they have bathtubs. I think they have showers. But yeah, like, yeah. Imagine a really large bowl. But like, yeah.
I'm really bad at getting sleep on Wednesday nights.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
I'm actually, so Wednesday night, I'm actually, like, the best at getting sleep. That's one of the reasons I wanted you to come on Thursday mornings, because I felt like I was least likely to embarrass myself. Well, no, because after we get back from the tournament, I'm
Do
like...
you embarrass yourself a lot on the other morning streams?
Oh yeah, I'm just, like, constantly, like, starting sentences, and I'm like...
Oh, okay.
But, like, the point
I
of the...
bet Cleo loves that on your craft streams.
Yeah, well, the point of the morning streams, like, by forcing myself not to go back to bed right after I drop Corinne off at school, I'm, like, ostensibly supposed to be fixing when I go to bed in the first place. And with mixed results, but it's more positive than negative, so I'm gonna keep doing it.
Nice.
I'm working, it's a slow burn, but I'm slowly building a reasonable sleep schedule for myself. Part of that, though, is I need more activity during the day. And on the pinball tournament nights, I get a lot of activity, right?
Sure.
So I was going to start running, but then, like, when Corinne went to her mom's for the summer, but then immediately the smoke rolls in, and they're like, don't exert yourself outdoors. And so...
Yeah.
And I'm not, like, a gym person. That's just not my speed, you know?
Well, yeah, and I don't... yeah.
I thought about
and you'd have to go outside and walk to the gym.
Well, no, but if you're wearing a mask outside,
to
get to the gym, and then they have filtered air inside, you can exert yourself.
That's fair.
But you just don't want to be like exerting yourself and breathing extra smoke while you're trying to run. You know, that's not good for you.
That's not great.
So yeah, no, but like the other thing is the gym that I wanted to sign up for, I'm actually not eligible for anymore because of COVID. They've restricted who can go there, and like
I think I know which one you mean. Yeah.
Like and so it's kind of frustrating because it's like I was just gonna sign up for that. But yeah, I don't want to be like something I have to drive to. Let's just
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I should put this in my offhand.
Mahi's Zero Wall said, so I read on Tumblr this morning that apparently Fallout Boy didn't update it. We didn't start the fire, and apparently it is a dumpster fire, and they totally missed the brief. Yes, Joe and I saw that yesterday and sent it to Joe, and I hadn't completely listened to it when I sent it to Joe.
Well, the reason I replied "dang it" is because this was
it's something we had talked about doing for a long time.
This was something we had talked about doing, was an updated. We didn't start the fire. I'm like, how many years does it cover? Once we're that many years from Rock and Roller Cola Wars,
it has to be 19. So the original is 1949 to 1989. So we needed to wait until 40 years after 1990, I suppose.
Yeah, which was
start in 1990.
Yeah.
And then end in 2030. Exactly.
So we were going to work on this in about a decade or 7 years from now because that's...
And I guess we still could because I don't think anyone's going to remember this terrible Fallout Boy version.
But like, yeah,
that's not even chronologically written. It's terrible. It's horrible.
I was more worried that when you sent it to me, I was worried that they had done a good job.
That's what I was worried about.
But they didn't, so no harm, no foul.
Even when it's like, there are a lot of things they do wrong.
They didn't
number
do it
one,
chronologically,
yeah,
apparently.
every verse is not one decade as it should be.
Oh my gosh, really? I guess if you're not doing it chronologically.
No,
then...
they like are singing about the Queen died, and then they talk about World Trade Center 2, like being hit by a plane. Like, what?
Okay, I will say, like to some degree, the end, like doing one verse per decade is not something I want to be rigid with. Because like JFK blown away, what else do I have to say? That was the turning point, and right before the refrain there.
Sure, but it's still like.
But I would say, like, even though the tower's falling was the 2001, that's the beginning of that decade. I would say that's the end of the 1990s. Like, towers fall, screw it all. Like, instead of JFK blown away, what else do I have to say? Like, the Twin Towers is...
I'm not saying that they shouldn't talk about that. I'm saying they say that the Queen died, which happened this year, and then they go back to 2001. And that's just screwy. And also, they didn't pay attention to the dramatic effect of what event was chosen for the end of the verse.
Uh-huh.
And so it just kind of... The end of the verse always just, like, fizzles out in this version.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, what I'm saying is, for our adaptation, I'm not going to stick to strictly, like, we have to end... What's the pivotal event at the end of 1999?
Yeah, I mean, because, like, JFK blown away is in 1963. That's not the That's not the end of the 60s.
It's further in than 2001 is into the aughts, or what have you.
Yes. There's some bleed over. There doesn't have to be hard and fast, but at least like try. That's all I'm saying.
Y2K is pretty big. I mean, Y2K was a big deal to prepare for, but because we devoted, it was a massive global engineering project to avoid disaster.
Absolutely.
And we did it. Like, that's a huge success, but a success like that doesn't turn history. A failure like September 11th turns history.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of what I'm saying. Like
sure. I mean, yeah, that could end quote unquote the 90s. Hey, we got a raid.
Oh,
thanks
hey,
to Guard
thank you, Guard Live for the raid. Delg says the actual turning of the millennium is pretty huge. I guess if you like calendars, like, yeah, if you're a math guy,
yeah.
But like, I guess what I'm saying is the turning.
You're all about millenniums, yeah.
But like the turning, like, and maybe this just like because you know I was a history major in college and stuff. Like the turning of the decade, the calendar rolling over isn't what makes a difference. It's Black Tuesday. Or sorry, wait, which one? Oh gosh. Yeah, I have a history degree and I don't know what day of the week Wall Street crashed on. That wasn't Black Friday. Black Friday is a sale. Black Tuesday, yeah.
There's a lot. I mean, there's Black Monday. That was a thing that happened.
Wait, what was the Wall Street crash?
Black Monday was, I think, 1987.
Yeah, Wall Street crash. Yeah, Black Tuesday. Okay, I was right. I'm just right with low confidence.
Sure.
Yeah, Wall Street crash of 1929 would be more important. That's October 29th, 1929. That pivots us into the 30s more than December 3rd. 31st.
Well, should we also do
should we go
1909?
Earlier?
Yeah.
I think actually
1908 to 1948.
You know what? Actually,
we can write that.
We could do that now.
No one else is doing that.
And do that as a warm up,
mm-hmm.
and see what we learn from it. That's a brilliant exercise, Quinn. Thank you. That's I'm genuinely appreciative. Like I'm just like,
yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's a good one. That is a solid pitch.
Ba boom. Third album, folks.
No, Delg, I'm not saying it wasn't a big deal to most people, and we should mention it. We should mention
Y2K?
We should mention Y2K. We should mention
Huge
the turn
deal.
of the century. I'm just saying.
I thought the world was gonna end.
What I'm saying is though, in terms of like what shifted society into the next decade,
Yes.
it was September 11th. Like, the first 9 months of 2000 were more 90s,
Yeah.
right?
Well, and also like culturally, things aren't like set to a certain time. Like the sound of 80s music
Mm-hmm.
bled over into the early 90s.
Well, and it like,
And the sound of 80s music that we think of the sound as, like synthesizer pop stuff, like that didn't really start until like 82, 83 anyway.
well, and this is something too. Like, if you watch a show like Stranger Things, like the furniture isn't from the 80s.
Yeah.
The furniture is from the 60s and 70s.
Right, they bought that furniture before.
Yeah, it's like how old are the parents of each kid determines what era their house was decorated in, basically.
Right, exactly.
You know, like,
Yeah, or what's something like from the 40s that their parents gave them, Like,
yeah, they would have a few pieces left over. Like, so the only people, like, who would have, like, super 80s stuff would be, like, somebody like the kid in Big, who I just went to a store and bought everything.
Right. Someone with money who just has all the newest stuff.
Yeah. And so that's how you show that someone is rich. Their house is 80s. But yeah, the other people, no, their parents, they get by, but their couch is still fine from the 70s. They got some dinnerware from the 60s, like, that they got, when, like...
Exactly.
When was their wedding registry? Is like...
That's a good question.
A big
Yeah.
thing if you're trying to figure out that
That's
stuff.
how you're styling everything in the home, on the set.
Yeah, Delg says, where I grew up, the 80s didn't arrive until 92. Yeah.
Yep.
And Quinn, I don't know if I've mentioned this before, but Delg, I know through the Shadow Council, which is like the Penny Arcade group, and like Delg like runs our Call of Cthulhu game that I've played a few
Nice.
times. Yeah.
Cool.
So this isn't just like some random guy being particularly argumentative. There's a reason I'm
I'm
it's engaging.
It's not an argumentative thing. I mean,
Yeah.
Different places experience culture in different ways in different times. So
Yeah.
I wasn't about to be like, how dare you?
You're talking about this Delg guy a lot. Well, I just wanted to give you some
You
context.
got the 80s in 91, not 92.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing too, though. Like when we like even talk about like something like Chuck E. Cheese or whatever, the Chuck E. Cheeses that were open in the '80s didn't necessarily get renovated in the '90s, but the ones built in the '90s would have had slightly different stuff. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like all of these things, kind of cyclical. Yeah. Dun. Okay, so
Where are we at rotationally?
rotationally, we're at 43 degrees angular. Tips are welcome via paypal.me/Joe Hills and YouTube Super Chat. Let me check, make sure no PayPal tips have rolled in, that I've not hit my email, because sometimes that does happen. Wait, let me...
NJ is back.
NJ is back. NJ is back.
She was on a work call. Now she is back.
Okay. It looks like Alyssa sent Ted, who says, "Howdy, Joe and Quinn. Hope y'all two are doing well. Currently using the stream as a way to distract from me dying due to the air quality dip in my area.
Oh no!
Congrats to Quinn on being featured in the Washington Post, and happy Pride Month." Well, thank you so much. We're gonna rotate another 10 degrees,
Thank
Alyssa.
you, Alyssa.
Woo.
I hope your air quality improves.
That gets us up to 53. Thank you, Alyssa. Yeah, sorry, sometimes these alerts don't always come through super fast. Manual refresh there. We have not gotten the written permission needed from Twitch to simulcast. That is a separate problem that I am going to deal with creatively as best as I can.
We do what we can here.
Yep.
That's all we can do.
So yeah, I figure if I'm streaming something different, it's a different show. Like there is a okay. So here's an example. I'm gonna give you all.
Okay.
Okay, and I do want actual feedback from the audience on this, so I want y'all to just think about this and give me your feedback. So there's a thing where sometimes when the president gives a speech, all of the networks share one camera pointed at the president, and they will all simultaneously show the same video and the same audio because it's that sort of thing. Other times, the president might go somewhere in public and give a speech.
Right.
And every network sets up their own cameras.
Mm-hmm.
And their own, like, they've got, like, you'll see, like, there's, like, 8 microphones on the podium or whatever.
And then the viewers at home have options. They're like, I don't really like this camera angle that CBS is showing me right now.
I'm going to switch over to NBC. So, I would say that if I have a different microphone and different video, that is not simulcasting.
No, that's a different stream.
That's a different show.
That's completely different.
That's a different show. So
it's not the same experience at all.
Totes different.
It's totes different.
Ooh. Okay, what is the best thing for breaking these mangrove roots? Is that going to be the axe?
I thought you were asking me at first, and I honestly have no idea.
Oh,
but I realized quickly you were not.
I was
asking me.
I was actually asking the group about the simulcast thing, and then none of them replied. So then I was like,
so
let's see if they're listening. How do you break this? Yep, Kara K jumps in immediately. Axe. Okay, Kara K. Aphid jumps in axe. Nope, Queen says axe. Okay, same 3 people. What do you think about the Is it simulcasting if I have a different camera and a different microphone?
Well, see, asking someone for a fact requires less effort than asking someone for an opinion.
Well, it's a definition. What's the definition of a simulcast? Actually, define. Let's ask the dictionary. Define simulcast. A simultaneous transmission of the same program on radio and television on 2 or more channels.
So if it's not on radio or television, then...
yeah, well, and I'm also... yeah, okay. It's not on radio and television.
Yeah, it's on the internet.
Oxford Dictionary. Merriam-Webster says just means to broadcast simultaneously as by radio and television. So they're using that as an example.
I see. Yeah.
Wikipedia... across more than one resolution, bitrate, or medium. Interesting. So the way Wikipedia defines it, if you stream to Twitch and you have a 1080p stream and a 720p stream and a 480p stream and a 360p stream, you're simulcasting.
Right.
Soaring Leaf says, do you need written permission if you aren't an affiliate? They're changing their terms of service to require it as of July 1st. NBC coverage of State of the Union is different from CBS coverage.
Exactly.
So here's the thing, though, is... does anyone sell Skulk, says Zombie Cleo.
Oh, Cleo's in the game.
Not to my knowledge. Let's see if I can throw somebody else under the bus here. Not to my knowledge, Cleo, but maybe a... You know what? I'm not gonna do it. I'm too lazy. I'm like pulling this off without actually making someone mad is not worth it.
Crafting.
Jellic says, how are they gonna enforce that anyway? Well, that's the thing though, is arguably
they're gonna rely on people reporting.
If they're gonna rely on people reporting it, and then they're
gonna rely on narcs.
If somebody reports it, and then they pull up my YouTube stream and pull up my Twitch channel and see that they're different audio and different video.
Correct.
I mean, a human being is going to have to decide that these 2 things are the same show. And so it is vitally important, I believe, to make it appear to the casual observer that these are not the same show.
Yes.
So it's the Twitch stream is going to be visually distinct. To arguably to the point of what some people might consider malicious compliance.
Yeah. because we've talked about your ideas. I don't know if you're
I
ready
don't,
to discuss
I don't
them
want
on
to
here, but
discuss them here because I don't know which ones are technically. That's why I was saying I might.
yeah, what's
I
feasible?
can't promise I'm going to deliver this on July 1st because I might need to go buy some equipment.
Yes.
But it's buying equipment levels of different, if that makes any sense.
Can you tell me from like a PC standpoint how do you stream two different things at the same time?
Okay. The easiest setup for this would be, and this is not necessarily what I'm going to do, but just the most dead simple one.
Sure.
Would be to set up my laptop with the other XLR input and a different camera.
Right.
And I could also be running Minecraft as my spectator camera. I
see.
So the game
you
footage.
have two microphones.
Joju says, "What if you mirror image the Twitch feed?" No. I don't want to. I'm not trying to trick a computer.
No.
I'm trying to make a person who looks at this go, "Oh, this is a false report."
Well, and also you want to have some fun with it as well.
And I want to have fun with it.
It's like if I'm gonna have to do something different, it should be interesting.
Yes.
In the way that it's different.
Yes. And by having a completely separate instance of OBS running.
Right.
Now this is more work from me, which is why it has to be funny. Because I am unwilling to do this work to appease Twitch, but I am willing to do this work to take a joke too far.
Right. Yeah, it's not just gonna be a small thing where it's like, well, I'm using a different camera and this webcam is 15 degrees off from where the YouTube camera is.
Yeah.
It'll be very noticeably different.
It would look, to an outside observer, like maybe two different people streaming from the same Minecraft server.
Right.
Which already happens.
Sure. Two Joe Hillses on the HermitCraft server?
Mm-hmm. In this economy?
In this economy? What am I supposed to do in this economy?
Ugh, how uneconomical. Afin says one camera is just my feet. Well, that, I'm talking about buying a foot pedal. I've talked about
foot cam, yeah.
I've talked about all sorts of stuff.
You're gonna have to charge money for that stream, brother.
Yeah, but can't have the camera over the shoulder with Groucho Marx glasses on the back of my head. The big problem with that is that I see the PayPal details on the stream.
Yeah.
So if I had somebody else like in the booth reading that off of a separate thing or something, that'd be better.
You could put Groucho Marx glasses on the back of my head.
But that was actually why I was thinking of having the second camera like up in that corner there.
Right.
Because then you can't see the screens.
Yeah. That's fair.
Blame 8 Asumas.
Blame 8 Azumas.
All 8 Asumas that you can find.
You know what happens when you assume
You make Asuma me and you.
Asuma me, Asuma you.
Oh wow, these break really fast. You guys were right about the action.
Yeah, that's much faster.
Dun, 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 doo, doo, doo.
Dun, 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 dun.
Now, the thing is, I can't... Those, unlike leaves that would decay naturally, these, like, mangrove roots that I've placed in the sky will not decay naturally. So I do have to break each and every one of these. And I'm leaving the lowest log on any particular thing in place because I'm going to be... I'm replacing the trees in such a way that they'll be growing from this... Jeez, there's, like... 15 guys with crossbows right there.
Oh,
that is
why do they have crossbows?
That's a problem I don't need. Yeah, we're going back this way.
Why are they doing that?
I don't know. Probably something punished me.
You probably deserve it.
Yeah, probably something I did. Probably one of the crimes.
One of the crimes. I lose track of all of your crimes.
One of my sins against HermitCraft. Sure, if you ask around, somebody will have something to complain about. I did. Joe, plant the cherry trees 2x2. They'll look better. Well, that's not really on brand for the grove we're doing.
Yeah. Is there a judicial system on this server?
Very loosely speaking.
I see.
I'm not sure if that's
Do you have a Supreme Court?
not exactly. This is,
Okay.
once again, very loosely. You
So you're not convicted of any crimes?
Oh, I can't be convicted. I've earned my degree.
Well, you're always a woman to me.
I do what I can. Let's go ahead and store. Have I exhausted this much storage already? Dang it.
Perhaps. Maybe.
Take saplings for myself. I can plant if I want.
It's too bad that song wasn't in
Ahead
the
of
movie
my
Shrek.
time. I never give up.
And you never give in.
I'm just changing my mind.
You're frequently kind, then you're suddenly cruel.
I do as I please, 'cause I'm nobody's fool. I bring out the best and the worst you can be. But the most you can do is throw shadows at me. I was gonna say, changing this. The first
I
person
am
really,
always a woman to me.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I doing the pronoun swap to second person ruins the rhyme scheme.
It ruins a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, the whole song kind of just falls apart there.
Sure does. Sure does.
But we learned this question mark right
Yeah.
to me. I think in some ways the best way to
Sing me a song. I'm a piano.
What angle are we at? We're at 53 degrees angular. Tips are welcome via paypal.me/showhills and YouTube super chat.
Yes.
Yeah, I do
If
appreciate.
people aren't sure, like, you might not know that you know the song "I'm a Believer."
Yeah, that's the one that's like, I thought love was only trio and fairy tales.
Then I saw her face.
Yeah, that one.
That one. That one.
Sing me a song. I'm a piano fighter.
That's
Ethan,
good.
bring it.
That's good. That's a callback,
That's
baby.
the joke. That's what we were missing. That is how you write a joke. Afin, comment of the week. We don't do a comment of the week very often.
Comment of the week.
I mean, technically, well, you also tied in the first person to second person swap joke there, but yeah, that was very well done. Okay, we're gonna go grab some more boxes to put all this extra stuff.
It's all there. The joke's joking.
Yep.
Yep, 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 yep. Yep, 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 yep.
The ZP Beast says, "Can I join? HermitCraft is an invite-only server, and I do not control the invites. But you can join something else. There are all sorts of opportunities in your community to help others. I hope you go online and seek those out.
Yeah.
There's always something worth joining if you're looking in the right place."
Joe doesn't control the invites. I do. I just don't want to let anyone else in. So
Yeah, we've already got a Keralis. We don't need another one.
we don't need.
You got big Keralis energy there. That's okay. We're all full.
That's all right.
You have joined the audience of the stream.
We got a corral of Keralises, okay?
Yep.
Yep, 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 yep.
Oh, why would I take the fireworks out of my hotbar?
Why
I
would
kind
you?
of needed those.
Bum, 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 bum.
We are so close to dish season.
Oh yeah.
Dish season.
We're
Wabbit
close.
season.
We're close. When do we want to do the community dishwash?
Okay.
The 19th?
Maybe.
We got a lot going on the 20th.
The 20th, we're already busy. The big thing, though, is, like, to some degree, that stuff goes best on weekends because of the international audience.
Fair.
Whoops. But then what we run into is our weekends are, like, wildly
We do a lot of
packed.
stuff.
Yeah. So...
I think we got another tip in.
Do we? Hey, let me pull that up real quick. Like, zip, zip. We got 50 rolling in from Kimberly. Woo! Thank you very much, Kimberly.
Thank
Getting
you
that
very
7,
much,
47,
Kimberly.
47, 50.
Kimberly.
It's gonna get us up to 93. Wait, hold on.
Thank you. What happened?
No,
What?
wait. No, we were at 53, so that's gonna bring us actually to 103. Boom.
Yeah.
So let's rotate us.
Mathematical.
Okay. There we go. 103 degrees angular. I'm trying not to dance in such a way that my hands are occluding Quinn, because I want to like be like.
You can do that.
I know, but like people want to be able to see your reaction.
They see me.
But whereas,
I can be occluded once in a while.
but your reaction to me dancing is valuable. Maybe keeping it down here. Just
A total eclipse of the Joe.
no, it would be a total eclipse of the Quinn,
I guess it would be.
right? Because that's the target of the.
The target of the eclipse
Yeah.
and the eclipse E.
Yeah, and it's like what is it? If the moon is between the Earth and the Sun, it's a solar eclipse. If the Earth is between the moon and the Sun, it's a lunar eclipse. And if the Sun is between the Earth and the moon, it's apocalypse.
Cool.
That was another joke I saw on Twitter. You can I don't know who came up with that originally, but it's very good. Oh wait, this is one we don't want to do yet, actually.
Thank you, Twitter person.
Yeah. We're gonna come back and work on this one later.
Yeah, we'll come back to that.
This is
We could come back to that.
yeah, because the trees over here, I want to replace the leaves 1-to-1 basically.
I see.
So, whereas these ones over here, I'm just chopping and replanting.
Just chopping and replanning. You know, doing your thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
La da 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 da. Da 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 da. Okay. But yeah, I was gonna say, as much as I want to do that dishwash.
Joe, when are you gonna wash the dish?
I know.
It's been sitting in the sink. It's getting real nasty.
Yeah, you're eventually gonna have to buy a replacement dish.
Once a year, we wash the dish.
I was gonna say, I also wanted to do that, look, Shawshank Redemption watch.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. Would it be okay from a scheduling standpoint? To some degree, it might be easier for us to find one Saturday or Sunday
To do 2.
and do a double feature.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
with the idea being that we, the way we usually do the movie watch parties is we get everybody in the Discord from the Patreon Discord who wants to watch the movie together and do kind of a pre-movie. Hey, who hasn't seen this before? You know, okay, you know, we're, just so you know, like, get everybody up to speed. We're in the voice chat now, but once the movie starts, everybody switches to text chat.
Right.
And then at the end of the movie, we would do, like, a 15-20-minute discussion, you know, like, what did you notice this time you didn't notice before? Or, you know, like, as people are saying things in the text chat, I might make a note like, ooh, that's a good thing to bring to the group at the end. Like,
Right.
you know, that sort of thing. So we have kind of a discussion after. But we could do, like, an intermission discussion maybe between... I think we should do maybe the... So do you do the lighter movie first or the...
Probably do Shawshank first and then do the dish. Right?
Well, cause, like,
End on like an inspiring, lighthearted note, right? Though I mean, it's your
well,
it's your birthday thing, so it's up to you.
Okay. Okay, yeah. Well,
And that being said, like
okay, so
Shawshank is one of those. Shawshank is my Back to the Future too. I haven't
yeah,
seen
that you
it,
haven't seen it yet.
so I can't really say.
Yeah. I guess what I'm trying to think is, like, traditionally, when you go to the drive-in and they do a double feature, the
Yeah, they would
lead-
do the like lighter family one first, family-friendly one first. So they
Yeah.
would at a drive-in they
At
would
a
do the
drive-in.
dish first.
And so if we were gonna theme this as like the Joe Hill's Discord drive-in experience,
Yeah.
like
Joe Hill's at the movies, no matter where you are, you can be a star.
is that Chipmunks Go to the Movies?
Yeah,
That was a good. They
it
actually
was a
did
good
really
series.
good
Bat
job.
Monk.
They did a really good job adapting those films. Like, it's the sort of
They
thing
really
like.
did. I need to track down some of those VHS tapes now that I have a VCR again.
Oh, nice.
Because I doubt they were. There's a lot of stuff that was never re-released on DVD or Blu-ray or even digitally that you just got to track down.
Well, and as I'm thinking through this, like, this actually does solve one of the big problems for me with this, is that, like, okay, some people would be like, oh no, you're starting too early or too late for me. And I'd be like, well, the problem is, if I do this, like, and we start at around, like, 11 a.m., which is kind of early for the Pacific people. It's 9 a.m. there, but it's still, like, that's when most people are waking up for work. Maybe they don't want to wake up for work on the weekend. But if we do it too late, it's too late for Europe, right?
Yeah.
So if let's say we started at noon. So that's 10 a.m. for Pacific time people.
Right.
We do the first movie, take a break, second movie. We're done by 5 o'clock our time, which is still European 11.
Sure.
That's so.
And also, like, if you can only catch one of the two movies, that's fine.
That's the thing.
That's totally cool.
But, like, one of the big problems that I kept running into was I would be like, well, this is going to kill my whole day. So it's like, I'd be like, you know, if I do this, then I can't do anything else, but I don't necessarily, like, how am I going to fill the rest of the day?
I see.
But, like, by doubling down on the movies and having you here,
yeah,
it's...
But also, it's so it becomes, more like, it might feel more social to you to have another person.
Well, yeah,
in the room.
well, it would
But
be
also,
more
like,
social,
you know,
like, legitimately.
It's it's also supposed to be like a fun, relaxing thing too, which rest is a valid way to spend your day or your weekend.
Yeah. But I guess, like, it kind of takes some pressure off me to figure out, because I'm like, okay, well, this just cuts the day. You know the saying, like, this cuts the day in half.
Sure. Yeah.
If I was starting it at noon and ending at like 2:30, I'd be like, well, it's too late to drive anywhere out of town now. And like, you know, what am I gonna do with the rest of the day? I don't know.
You would just go to no quarter. That's probably what you
Well,
would do.
yeah, nowadays I would, but like when I started doing these, that wasn't an option yet.
Yeah.
Or I didn't know it was an option.
Or,
no, actually,
well,
during the pandemic, it wasn't.
I mean, yeah, it wasn't. We didn't have viable vaccines for a long time.
Yeah.
Or, I mean, a vaccine at all.
Yeah.
I mean,
there are multiple.
viable.
There are multiple ones now that are viable from different companies that work
Sure,
with different mechanisms. So I don't think plural is inappropriate here.
Yeah, I just mean they weren't like readily available for a long time. Like it was like what, a whole year before we had a vaccine?
Longer, I think.
Yeah.
Like I mean,
it was pretty bad.
Yeah.
For a long time.
So. Kofi says Quinn is totally a Hills. I can barely tell the difference between you two. Yeah, I mean, I think maybe if the camera was a little larger, it'd be easier. But yeah, we do have a lot in common. But yeah, okay.
A few things.
So while we're soliciting feedback from people, do y'all think that doing a double feature of The Dish and Shawshank Redemption on, let's see. If I pull up my calendar here, let's see what days that might be viable. Because it would have to be the week before my birthday.
Oh, the week before.
Or the Saturday. So, let's see. Because, like, the 22nd, I have a commitment. So, it'd be either... the 15th is our map art contest. So, it'd have to be Sunday the 16th if we were going to do it.
16th might be doable for me.
Okay. Let's make getting that locked in. Not something. Obviously, we can't get.
Because I have some like people coming in town around the 14th and 15th, so.
Okay.
16th might be doable.
Do you know when you would know, so that way like people can plan and we can announce it in advance? Because
I mean, 16th should be okay. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you're pretty confident.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I'm just saying it can't be
early.
The Saturday.
No, the Saturday we've got a big map art build contest for the server.
Okay, there you go.
So,
and it can't be the Friday evening because both of us are booked for that. So.
Yeah, and the other thing is I have to give people advance notice so that they can like go to the library and check out a DVD. And stuff. Like
visit your local library.
Because we don't stream the videos to the Discord because that's a copyright.
Yeah, it's a nightmare.
Like, you know, with content detection software as good as it's gotten, like, they know if you're doing this.
Yep,
and
absolutely.
They haven't brought the hammer down yet, but that hammer is coming. And I don't... But our Discord is too valuable as a social meeting place to risk.
And even if they don't take action now, they might be taking notes.
They're definitely that's what I'm saying. They are already able to and likely tracking this.
Yes.
If they are not tracking it, it's because they don't want the liability of knowing.
Right.
But it's very plausible that they could be in a situation where they've already been compelled to start tracking it, but haven't made that information public.
Yes.
So.
Well, because like Discord has a lot of relationships with gaming companies that also have a lot of like entertainment parent companies that own them, and they care very much about getting paid for their materials. I mean, as you know, we like to get paid for the stuff we make.
I do want to encourage people, like, hey, I'm not picking ironically bad movies to watch. I'm saying these are movies that are worth either buying or renting. Like,
absolutely.
You know, okay, it's $3 on iTunes to rent this or whatever. But you know what? This is, even if you don't...
Or you can go to like a local like used movies media store and find it. Like,
well, and some people do, and that's why I need to
the
give
Dish
them...
is a lot harder to track
because it's an Australian film. But yeah, that's why I need to give people lead time though, so they can figure out where they can watch it.
All right, so this gives them a little over 2 weeks.
So I'm actually gonna right now go into our activity signups, and I'm gonna put July 16th double feature. And I'm going to say starting at noon Central
US
on July 16th, The Dish. Followed by Shawshank Redemption. And we can actually use the 2 mic setup. Like, between the movies, we can come back up in here and use the 2 mic setup to hop on the call with everybody.
Yeah. Doable.
For the... So let me see how
You already have these films digitally purchased.
I own the dish. I don't own Shawshank because but like I have no qualms about buying it. It's a worthwhile movie. It's just not the sort of movie that like you watch every day. You know what I mean? It's a pretty intense story.
Fair.
But
it may be available on a streaming thing we subscribe to anyway.
It's the sort of thing like I've seen it a few times at other people's houses or while traveling. I've seen it often enough incidentally. I haven't felt compelled to own it until now.
Fair.
But it's been a little while. It's been like probably 4 or 5 years since I've seen it. So, okay, that person's getting banned for promoting 2 different brands.
Were the brands not Joe Hills and Quinn Hills?
No, they're not paying me for that.
Then get you gone.
But let me get the dish runtime so we can figure out
the dish runtime.
1 hour 40 minutes. Okay,
that's brisk.
So the schedule would be schedule noon meet in voice 12:15 start the dish.
Yep.
Meet in voice and chat 12:15 start the dish. So
we could
let's
give
say
like a 5-minute bathroom break or something.
Yeah, 12:55 dish ends, bathroom break.
Yep. Refill your drinks or refill your foods.
Yeah.
1 p.m. discussion.
1 p.m. discuss the dish.
Dish on the dish.
Yeah, and then something like 1:15 p.m.
It's 2 hours and 22 minutes.
Shawshank.
Yeah.
Getting that isn't quite as important as knowing when the second movie is going to start, right?
Sure.
Oh wait, hold on. No. This would be 2 p.m. Wait. No.
Correct.
Yeah. Yeah, 1:55 p.m. dish ends, bathroom break.
Yes.
2 p.m. discuss the dish. 2:15 p.m. start Shawshank. And then, sorry, you said it was 2 hours 22 minutes.
Correct.
So we'll say it like 4:35.
37.
We'll just say
It's
4:35. Bathroom break.
Sure.
4:40 Shawshank discussion.
Right. So we wrap up by 5 p.m. Central.
Yeah, I'm not gonna put a hard stop on it if everybody's got like.
Sure, if people want to keep going.
Yeah.
Keep talking.
And like these are not movies that are thematically linked, but it might be that watching them
might see things
back to back. We might go. Actually, it's interesting that in both films. I'm curious now. If I had to.
Sure.
There probably are things in there if you look. But like it would be the sort of like BS high school essay like arguing like 2 things are the same or have something in common that clearly don't.
Exactly.
Excuse me. But yeah, so we have posted that. I'm gonna copy link to channel. I'm gonna put that in our newsletter for Tommy to announce Monday.
Cool.
Okay. Oh, I'm also gonna put in there that you. Okay. Quinn Hills joins live in studio for a double film discussion. I'll clean that text up later.
Sure.
I just want to make sure the fundamentals are in there. So, yeah. So that's all set up now.
That's all, folks.
Okay. Yep. If you're interested in joining the Patreon, patreon.com/JoeHills. It seems like the sort of thing I should have a link to.
Yes.
In my list. Here it is. Okay. Bum, 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 bum.
Where are we rotationally?
We are at 103 degrees angular. That puts us only 67. Is that right?
77.
77 away from 180. You're right. Tips are welcome via paypal.me/JoeHills and YouTube Super Chat.
I mean, it is Shrek Day here on the show.
Yeah, I know.
Joe's wearing the green.
I am wearing green. A very rare occurrence.
Y'all can't see it,
No,
but I can. This is a very Shreky green.
Delg says, does Patreon still do the thing where they charge you on sign up and then again on the first of the month? Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, maybe put in a reminder to sign up for my Patreon on the 1st, because it's the 29th. Thank you, Delg. Yeah, I wasn't trying to scam people by double dipping on that. I just forgot what day of the month it was. That is a very appreciated point. Thank you. But yeah, make a note. Set an alarm for yourself on the 1st of the month to sign up for my Patreon. Whoops. That one we want. Delg says, I would only ask because I decided to sign up but was waiting. Yeah, no, that was a good thing. Thank you for sharing with the group. And it would be irritating.
Yeah.
I
You expect one thing and then the other thing happens.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah. So, good catch on that. I wasn't thinking. I've kind of like lost track.
I
of the
forgot it was
calendar.
like it's the end of the month. How did that happen?
Well, I was just gone for 10 days, and that kind of really threw everything off for me.
No, I mean I'm with you. I have no idea what day it is most of the time.
Yeah.
That's just the way things go. In Nashville.
Okay. So we're leaving one stump for each of the ones I need to replace with a sapling, because I need to clear out the stuff over them before they'll grow properly anyway. So I'm kind of punching through that at the moment. Nashville sung to the tune of Albuquerque. Yes, probably. I don't pay attention to half of what I say, so that's why I record so much. Oh, I still got my watch in theater mode.
What does that mean? Like it goes dark or whatever. Yeah,
like,
I get you.
It goes completely dark. It doesn't like light up when you write your wrist.
Yes, yes. Like you're in a movie theater. It's perfect for a movie theater.
Yeah, and but yeah, the reminder.
Or a non-movie theater.
Yeah, the reminder that I have lunch with you scheduled just popped up. But it like vibrates, but it doesn't like show on the screen until I tap it. You know, because
that's
it's
nice.
theater mode.
Going to get lunch with your sister.
Yeah, so I've got But yeah, since I forgot to change to my digital watch, I guess technically this is digital, but you know what I mean, my Casio.
Oh, I see.
When I went to the arcade last night,
and
I don't want to be distracted by like stuff lighting up on my wrist during the game.
That's fair.
Oh boy, got way too much stuff here.
How long do you think they went back and forth about whether they should call it the iWatch?
I don't know, because the eye thing is all about the internet, right? Like the oops, did I already? Yeah. So like the i series is stuff.
But the iPod did not have internet initially for a long time.
That's also true, but like yeah, that's true. Yeah, because the iMac was supposed to be like the internet ready Mac, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
And so
they kind of lost track of what they were using it for.
Yeah, but you're right. The
interactive,
the iPod. I mean, technically though, it did let you could buy music on the internet though.
That was the thing on iTunes, Internet Tunes.
Yeah, so that was the integration.
That was the link. Yeah. That makes sense. That's synergistic. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, Internet Tunes was iTunes. So
buy our music on the Internet Tunes.
Mm-hmm.
Which is no more.
Yep. Okay, so let's so let me fly up here. So basically what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be covering all of these then with the lichen again to make it glow. Like what's
I see. Mm-hmm.
I'm probably going to do a recording segment in between. I'm not ready to do yet because I got to clear out more stuff.
Sure.
Some of this stuff, but
I'm not going to rush you, you know.
But like, I mean, I think to some degree though, too, they don't fully own the rights to use I as a prefix.
Mm.
So like, if there was already a product called the iWatch,
yeah,
that would be a factor. There was actually already a product.
Or a lot of people who work in labs have iWash stations.
Yeah.
You know, there might be some confusion.
Thanks, Keralis.
Thank you, Keralis.
But yeah, I would argue that I feel like they really lost something because they had earbuds and then they had AirPods instead of earbuds, and they could have had like a basketball dog printed on the side.
Well, they didn't have a relationship with the Walt Disney Company at that time.
You think that was it?
That's who owns Air Bud.
Oh.
But now
really,
that they're working, with Disney, on this VR thing, maybe.
Yeah, they had Bob Iger come out.
Bob was there, so maybe the Air Bud is coming soon.
Yeah, maybe that was part of the deal, is we have to let Disney on our VR platform in exchange for the AirBuds branding.
Exactly. Yeah. So it was a small trade-off for something that everybody wanted.
Everybody wanted it.
Everybody. Yeah, they don't use the is the iPad the last thing they use the eye for?
Well,
I'm trying to phase it out.
They are calling the goggle view
of
your face eyesight, but with like EYE.
Oh, well then.
They're calling,
I wouldn't count that then.
They're calling the facial pass-through eyesight. But they actually had an old camera that was eyesight with the letter I at the beginning. The original Apple webcam, I think, was called the eyesight camera. And so that's kind of a throwback for them.
Right. But yeah.
Their old
putting a little twist on it.
Yeah.
Spelling out the whole word.
Yeah. were actually here and here. I'm going to mark those for later because I'm replacing them. But yeah, I'm trying to think like what else. So the Apple Watch was the last major. Then they've got what do they call it? They're calling it Apple Vision Pro.
Well, and they still have the iMac.
Yeah, they still do have the iMac. They still have the iPad. They still have the iPhone. Like, it's not like they've completely abandoned that naming.
That's fair.
For existing product lines. But, like, they don't come out with a lot of new product lines in general. Like, the Apple Vision Pro is their newest product line. I think before that it was the Apple Watch.
Yeah. There's the Mac Pro is just the it's not the iMac Pro.
Well, they've had Mac Pros for that's a pre-existing. Like
Sure.
they had even back with the Power PC days, it was called the Power Mac Pro, but like
Right. But they could have thrown an I on there at some point, and they didn't.
Yeah.
It's not the iMacBook Pro.
They did actually have a Pro version of the iMac. I don't know if you remember that.
I think I do, yeah.
We had some of those at the ad agency I worked at. Those things were fast. Those were like wildly powerful. I really wanted one, but I couldn't justify the expense, so I did not have one.
Yeah, that's fair.
But yeah, our video production guys had them, and they were like, I was looking at them doing like high end they were doing commercials and stuff like 4K video in from multiple angles, and I'm like, oh, this is
Wowza.
This is nice.
That's crisp. That's nice. Do we have a target wrap-up time?
Well,
do we have a ticking clock?
Do you want a ticking clock? Because I mean, I am kind of hungry.
Same.
So yeah, if y'all want to chip in toward our lunch, tips are welcome via paypal.me/JoeHills and YouTube Super Chat. We are splitting the tips 50-50. I know some of y'all are saving up to buy the HermitCraft TCG collector's cards, and I do appreciate it.
Oh, yeah.
But
those come out Saturday?
July 1st.
Or is that... Yeah, Saturday, right?
Is that...
Yeah.
I don't know how calendars work. Like, I'm really the worst at calendars. But yeah, July 1st, those are going to go on sale. So I know some of y'all are saving up for those, but Quinn did drive across town. We are splitting the tips. It would be appreciated.
Thank you.
Y'all did want a tip.
People.
Loopy says, are you going to replace all the cherry logs with birch after the trees grow in, or just take the trees as is? I think I'm going to leave them as is. I think I'm experimenting. So...
Experimental Joe.
Yep. We're trying something here. I don't know if it's a good idea, but I don't need to.
Yeah,
that's not going to grow.
I also
next
don't
to
know
that,
if it's a
is it?
bad idea, so that's why we got to find out.
Is it because of this?
What happened?
I'm trying to figure out why this won't grow. Boo.
Ooh.
Doesn't have clearance, I guess.
We have clearance. Clarence?
Oh, that one.
Whoa.
That one grew. See, that's normally like how it goes.
Was it something about the spacing, or
Maybe.
Yeah, that one's
like,
not growing
that one's
either.
Too close to the wall, maybe.
Could be.
But also we need to get some light in here. That's part of the glow lichen provides that, but we don't have it. Some monsters are gonna start spawning.
We don't like that. No.
No time for that. Penguin Empress says, did Quinn get her name change done?
I'm working on it.
It's underway.
It's been filed, I believe, and then I'm supposed to receive a court date 3 to 4 weeks after the filing. I think it should all be okay. And granted, I'm in I live in Nashville, Davidson County, which is one of the more left-leaning areas of the state. So certain things are a little easier, even though, there's still a lot of legal roadblocks. So I'm hoping everything will be okay. I did see in the news yesterday that Kansas, it looks like they're going to reverse any gender and name changes of trans people.
That's bonkers.
And so now I'm like, that wasn't a thought that occurred to me. Like, oh, they could do that here too. So, I'm gonna continue to be vigilant and maybe move somewhere else if I have to.
Well, and I did want to talk to you about that. This is something that I meant to bring up at the pizza place yesterday when we were having. Was it yesterday? Maybe 2 days.
Was it
ago.
yesterday?
No, it was 2 days ago.
Yeah.
When we had you dropped off my mail and we grabbed dinner. One thing that was really reassuring about this trip is when we went on our northeastern tour last October.
Yeah.
Part of the goal was to try and find good places to resettle if we had to leave Tennessee, and we couldn't find anything cost effective. I was just like, well, looks like we're just gonna stay in Tennessee.
Yeah, we might be SOL here. But
I will say that this Wisconsin trip, I talked. Okay, so I got to spend a lot of time in Wisconsin talking to a lot of people from Wisconsin, and like in 2 different areas, like Eau Claire and near Green Bay.
Mm-hmm.
And those are both fairly viable relocation targets, I think.
Well, and there are a few states around there that I know for sure are trans sanctuary states, Minnesota being one of them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure about Wisconsin, but I'll look into it.
Wisconsin has a red legislature but a blue governor. But in general, though, their infighting is about other stuff.
Which is good.
They're not. That's what you want.
That's what you want, because trans people, there really aren't that many of us. We just want to live our lives, and so they need to focus on real issues instead of just making our lives more difficult or completely unlivable at all.
Yeah. And also, I was talking to some people from Illinois, from like the suburbs of Chicago, and it sounds like the Schaumburg area would be pretty viable. We were there last year.
Yeah, Schaumburg is nice.
But,
I used to live in Chicago, so I'm familiar.
Yeah, just because that was the thing, was like a lot of the places that I was like thinking would be the best candidates for us to relocate. I was just like, we just couldn't afford it. If we're in like an emergency situation, we have to go. What can we afford? Like, some of the places closer to Chicago weren't going to work. Boston, anything near New York was going to be too expensive.
No.
Like, unless the real estate market collapses in Seattle because of Amazon letting people work from home, which they're trying to undo. Like, Seattle's too expensive. So I came out of this with like 3 passable fallback candidates if we had to leave the state quickly.
Yeah.
Where it's like, okay, we could find a place relatively cheap and get settled and then figure out what to do from there.
Yeah.
Somebody says, would you leave the U.S. if it came to it? Well, in my particular case, I've got a child in a custody situation with an ex, and so relocating outside the United States would be much more challenging for us than relocating outside of the state of Tennessee. In theory, if things got bad enough nationwide, her mother would probably go to Europe anyway, so it would be easier for us at that point to go to Europe.
Right.
But if it's just things are bad in Tennessee, not things are bad United States wide, that's not going to be viable. But
yeah.
if I had to relocate out of the country, I'd probably end up in Scotland.
Because it is very difficult. Like, other countries, they generally don't want us.
Yeah. Rough and Ready tips 3. Thank you so much, Rough and Ready. That's going to get us to 106 degrees angular. So it's important for me to have a good plan.
Same. Same. I'm
you know.
looking at a few options within the U.S.
Yeah, and part of what I was looking at in terms of viability, though, was, like, are these places, like, not just could Corinne and I get by okay here, but how would Lauren feel here? How would you feel here? Because, like, in a situation where we're making an emergency shift like that, it might make sense for us to try to, like, get 2 apartments in the same building, or, you know, like...
Yeah, rent a larger house together or something like that.
Yeah, we'd have to figure it out. I mean, I don't think you would want the stress of living in the same home as, like, a child in a custody situation, necessarily.
That's fair.
Because, like, it's really annoying. Like, I feel like I constantly have, like, a judge looking over my shoulder, like, if I'm screwing stuff up, and I don't want to impose, like, that. Yeah, you know what I mean, like. Because
is there a liability that I create that you would worry about as well?
Not necessarily, but like
you got a trans woman in the house.
No, I'm more worried about stuff like there's a lot of things. This is not necessarily a commentary on you, but like in general, if you have people like you can't necessarily have somebody who uses drugs that are considered illegal. Right. So I have no problem with people smoking weed, but I have certain friends that I could not live with because they consume marijuana, and a custody judge would freak out about that. Let's say you had an injury and you're like, oh, I should, this would probably be the best treatment for me. I'd be like, well, now one of us has to move out.
Right.
That would be that's like an additional condition that you don't necessarily need to sign up for.
Right.
There's also like as somebody who's single, if you want to be bringing people home, you can't have people like coming in and out of the house overnight like that in the eyes of a custody judge and have that be considered like a good environment.
Yeah.
That's considered, you know, dangerous for the child to have adults that they don't know staying in the house, you know, routinely, or you know, see what I'm saying? Like, which, not necessarily saying that you would do that, but I'm saying that I don't want to deny you the option of doing that. You know what I mean? Like, that's... You are not in a point in your life where you have chosen to have a child, and I don't think you should have the liabilities or responsibilities associated with that around the clock.
That's fair. Yeah.
That's just... It would feel like an imposition on you.
Well, and even, like, it might make sense for y'all to move to Scotland, but it might not at that time make sense to me. Like, if...
Well, we would not be leaving the country with Corinne unless the U.S. was absolutely screwed.
Sure.
That it would be one of those, like, it would have to be bad enough that Corinne's mom already fled to Germany.
Sure.
Which is, it would take a lot to get to that point. So, yeah, that's super unlikely. But, yeah. So, anyway, no, I'm not worried about you yourself. I'm worried about you feeling like you don't have the freedom that you should have as an adult.
Yeah. Because
I constantly am like... And there's like 100 little stupid things.
Right.
Like, those are just two kind of extreme examples, but you would probably feel freer having your own apartment, even if, like, let's say we had a house with like a garage apartment.
Well, yeah, I'd want to have my own separate entrance or whatever. Yeah, anyway, like,
yeah, having your own space completely, like, all those problems evaporate.
Yeah.
So, So let's go ahead. It's 11:10 now. We got our last tip 10 minutes ago. Let's see if we can speed run hitting 180 so we can hear I'm a Believer. If we don't hit 180 by 11:20, that's 10 minutes from now, then I think we're gonna adjourn for lunch. Does that sound fair?
Sure.
Because I'm definitely getting hungry.
Yes. I'm a wee bit peckish. Yeah, NJ said, too bad Jersey isn't viable. It might be viable for me. I mean,
just from a cost standpoint,
sure, for like the amount of space that you need.
For the amount.
Whereas, like, if I'm
yeah,
living my life and doing the things I can do, like, I can stream and live in a studio apartment. You know,
yeah,
you aren't able to do that.
Like, we really need at least 2 bedrooms.
Yeah,
and 2 bedrooms would be hard. 3 would be ideal,
right?
Because like,
big difference.
You know, if I wasn't getting married, then I could theoretically just put up a curtain in my bedroom and stream from there. But like, it's not fair to my future spouse to like be like, you can't go to sleep yet because I'm streaming in the bedroom.
Exactly.
That's not cool. Does Quinn have a Twitch? Yes.
Yeah.
That's the one link I didn't already have copied in. That's twitch.tv/ is it Redacted Hills?
Yes. Oh, I hear some kitty cats.
Yep, there's some cats in Minecraft.
Meow.
Mine cats.
Meow.
Doug says Pittsburgh is pretty cheap. Just saying. Maybe.
Yeah, I have a lot of friends in New York City who want me to move to New York City, but you know,
yeah,
cost. But it's always been a dream of mine to live in New York City, so we'll see.
I don't know a lot about the Pittsburgh airport. That would be a concern. Like, do people fly
do they have direct flights?
Do people fly out of Harrisburg, or do you have to go to
Harrisburg is a long way from Pittsburgh.
Well, that's what I'm worried about.
Yeah,
because like I have to fly her into her mom's or whatever.
Yeah, I would guess Pittsburgh has a major airport.
Connecticut,
big city.
Yeah, Mike Denman says Connecticut is a trans-safe state, but expensive. That was one of the big things we ran into. Was a lot of the places we liked the most.
Yeah.
We wouldn't be able to afford, or we would be in a situation where it's like we can afford to live in a rural area of a blue state. We can basically afford to live in a red area of a blue state or a blue area of a red state. And I'd rather live in a blue area of a red state in some ways.
Yeah. Because
we can't, ideally it'd be like if we could live in a blue area of a blue state, but those are all super expensive urban centers, right? Penguin Empress says Pittsburgh has a huge airport. It's in the suburbs. Okay, well, as long as it has one, that's a big consideration. It's much bigger than Harrisburg. Okay, good. I've never had to fly into Pittsburgh, I don't think, so I don't
think I've ever been there at all, but I've heard only good things.
Yeah.
Mahi says, speaking of Redacted Hills, love the updated album art.
Yeah, that's very fun.
Thank you. I just wanted it to have kind of like a punk kind of vibe to the revision, the redacting.
Oh, it's clever. We're gonna toss some cherry saplings into our little harvest area here. Actually, let's also go there. How full is my inventory? Not completely. Is Volume 2 getting an update too on the art?
Yeah, it should be updated most places now. That was a little easier because I'm not on it, so I just needed to cross out one name and then we're good. It should be updated everywhere now, though. The distribution platform we use is called DistroKid, and it only lets you update one album at a time. So I chose to do the first album first, and then the second one has only started going through, and then there's certain things like the Spotify artists platform. I have to reclaim this new quote-unquote artist, which has proven difficult because
you don't have
they're like, well, give us your Redacted Hills Instagram and your Redacted Hills email, like, and link all that stuff. And I did, and they were like, this still isn't enough evidence that you're Redacted Hills. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to figure that out because I think they on Spotify still they like defaulted the artist image to the second album's original artwork that still has my dead name on it. So I'm not happy about that, but hopefully we'll fix it in the next few days.
Yeah, that's a lot of work. I'm sorry.
It's a lot. But the main thing is we can like talk about the music and say the name of what it is now. And
Well, yeah, I'm annoyed that they won't let us update the URL because
that's a pain.
I refuse to link to Spotify or Amazon or Apple
Sure,
Music.
sure,
I'm like,
sure.
here, you determine your own level of involvement with whatever service you
Yes.
like, but I don't want to link individual services. They're
No.
not paying me for
Well, and it's so many places. Like
Yeah.
you can use our songs as TikTok sounds. If you use TikTok, you can use our songs on Instagram stories. Like there's a bunch of things you can, bunch of ways you can listen to our music.
Shifty Pumpkin tips 30 and says, for y'all being y'all. Thank you, Shifty
Oh,
Pumpkin.
thanks, Shifty
That's gonna-
Pumpkin.
It's going to shift us like a pumpkin
Thank you,
rolling 30
pumpkin.
degrees.
30 degrees. Thanks, Pumpkin.
Okay,
That's mighty kind of you.
we got 3 minutes till the end of the stream. I mean, if we hit the goal, we'll extend it to sing the song and then head out. But
Rolling, rolling, rolling.
We are
Keep them
only-
pumpkins rolling.
we are only 44 away from hitting that 180. Okay, so I'm gonna plant some of these jungle cherry saplings here.
Cherry saplings. Yeah, NJ says you'd have to live around the border of NJ and Pennsylvania if you want affordable. Well, yeah, that's where I was born, Easton, Pennsylvania.
Well, I mean, I don't know if you've heard about Camden, New Jersey, but a lot of people don't really seem to think very highly of it.
What about Phillipsburg, Joseph?
So part of what's killing me is I need a place that has good public schools.
Yeah.
And that was the biggest thing I was looking at was a lot of the places we could afford them because the schools were garbage. And
Yeah, you don't want that, though.
no.
No.
So yeah. I don't know how the public schools are in Phillipsburg these days though. That's a good point. But like
Nor do I.
also, I don't know if I want to live that far from a city. You know what I mean?
What do you
like-
mean? What do you mean?
Like Phillipsburg feels further from Philadelphia.
Easton's a city? Allentown's a city?
Yeah, I guess what I'm saying is though, like from Schaumburg, you can like take a bus or train into Chicago.
Sure.
Like Green Bay,
Yeah.
the Fox cities are like
For like affordability, like the Chicagoland area is one of the best areas I can think of.
yeah.
And also just like access to really cool stuff. And people are just like really cool and really nice in that area too.
Yeah,
There's a lot of good stuff.
I really like the Newark area because you can go on Zillow and you'll see like 8-bedroom haunted house, $60,000.
Cool.
And it's like, please note the water in this neighborhood is poison. You have to bring your own bottled water. And I'm just like, see, if it wasn't for the poison water and the terrible schools, I feel like the violent crime we could kind of overlook. But, Doug says, I'm going to be that guy and say once again that Pittsburgh is rated highly for affordable city living. How is Pittsburgh's public school system? Is, I guess,
Bud Lake, New Jersey. That's where
That's
where
where
they
they
try to
drop
get
the
rid of the
car.
car, yeah,
Yeah.
on 29th Street.
it depends on the school and borough. Okay, so different parts, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, well, because Hoboken's just like right across from New York City.
Yeah, so that's one of the things I liked about, Eau Claire and...
De Pere.
And De Paris, and whatever.
De Paris.
Yeah, like, a lot of it is walkable or busable, or you can take a lift if you're trying to go somewhere kind of awkward.
Right.
Like, they're good, like, you don't have to have a car cities.
Yeah.
I don't know if you could do that with Schaumburg as easily, but I'm...
Yeah.
Okay.
You should be able to.
Yeah.
Because, like, the like greater Chicagoland area still has access to the CTA.
Yeah. That's what I'd be hoping.
So, yeah, I mean, it's pretty great. Like, I lived there for a few years and didn't need a car at all. I didn't have a car there, and it was completely fine.
Doug says if that's a consideration, Pittsburgh public transit is trash.
Oh.
Yeah. That's...
Yeah.
Because, like, my fiance doesn't drive. We talked about possibly getting driving lessons.
Mm-hmm.
Because Badger, like, used to ride a motorcycle. And so it's not like, you know.
Sure.
It's just in London, not everybody has a car.
Or needs one.
Or, yeah, but that's the thing.
Because there is public transit.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, like, it would be. And also, you know, Corinne isn't going to be able to drive for a while. So it's just easier for everyone.
Well,
if we can get
in
around.
Tennessee, she could be driving in 4 years.
Yeah, with the hardship license.
Yeah.
Cordelia says, my aunt lives in Pittsburgh and she walks her bikes everywhere, but she's a little crazy. Well, that's okay.
Yeah.
That, as an aunt, that's an option you have. Also, as an aunt,
Right.
in some parts of the world,
Yeah.
that's a well-respected
And there are
tradition.
cities that are good for biking that still don't necessarily have good public transportation.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Like, because, that's the other thing is, like, because of Badger's, like, fatigue stuff, cycling is not going to be necessarily viable.
Not an option.
Even if there's, you know, bike lanes and stuff.
Yeah, unless you could get a nice little sidecar or something.
Well, I want to make sure that there's an element of independence here. This is
Yes.
so, like, if I'm...
Agreed.
Yeah, it's just healthier for everybody to be able to get places.
It's nice for people to be able to get places on their own if they wanted to go somewhere on their own.
Exactly. Like, nobody should feel trapped at home.
Yeah.
So...
Did NJ write a song, or is this a reference to something?
I can show you my state.
Oh, there you go.
All the places worth moving. It's all not that bad. And you'll find pizza.
A whole Jersey. Don't you dare close your eyes.
Original, but yet still new. We have diners.
Wawa.
And Jay's. Or New York's not
New
far.
York's not far.
I will share my stay
With you.
Yeah, we brought it. We figured it out, NJ. Okay, I think it is time for us to get going. Though, let me do a final login into PayPal manual check just in case. I would hate it if I saw the alert as we're going out the door to get
It's
food.
dark outside.
It is dark outside. What is that? Is it like lightning?
I don't know. Is it nighttime?
Is it nighttime? That's a great question. Okay.
It's dark out there.
It's getting dark.
It's getting dark outside. What's going on, guys?
What's that? I don't know. Okay. So, I think that we are going to go ahead and we are going to wrap up the stream here. Quinn, if people wanted to hire you to commission music, Where can they do it?
RedactedHills.com.
Whoa.
Whoa.
You can get like a 7-second little stinger. Something kind of like, let me pull up this craft.
Play it.
Yeah.
Crafting with Joe and Clay. Oh, crafting crafts. Haggis.
You can get that for
Yeah.
$100.
For $100. For
It's anything that I can make within an hour that's like basically a 7-second piece. Now I do add in buffer time so that like that actual clip is like 9 seconds, because you do want to have some like silence at the start of the track, about a second and a half, you know.
Yeah.
So I don't count that, okay?
Yeah.
So your finished track might end up being 10 seconds, and I can't stop you if you want to loop it and like play it 3 times and have a 30-second thing.
Yeah.
You know?
Or if you wanted to commission a 30-second theme song, you could do that for about $400.
You can also do that for $400. NJ Coffee Junkie did it.
Mm-hmm. Worth it.
Worth it. I'm proud of that song. I like it.
Yeah, you can also find Quinn at tumblr.com/QuinnHills and twitter.com/redactedhills. Okay.
I'm in a lot of places.
Is there anything we're missing there? We got your twitch.tv/
No, I mean, you can...
Redacted Hills. Follow you on Twitch. Are you streaming again? Did you get your computer fixed?
Not yet. Not yet.
Okay.
I know how to fix it, though.
Oh, okay. So
It's
that's
just like,
progress.
okay, I need to drag this whole thing out from under the desk and unplug some of the hard drives, and yeah, it's a thing.
You're getting
Maybe this weekend.
Getting there.
Yeah, and you can also pull up your favorite music platform and type in Redacted Hills and hopefully be able to find our music there.
Okay. It looks like Saucefire is playing more Mario RPG.
Oh, yeah, I'm very excited for the remake of that.
Yeah, that's something we failed to talk about
We
today.
didn't talk about that.
Next week.
Yay, next week.
Because I really do want to, like... I don't think
It
I'm gonna
looks
have time
so
to play it.
beautiful. Yeah,
I don't know if I'm going to have time to play the original on stream before the new one comes out.
right.
Seems like he's getting some sort of weird glitch there. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and raid Saucefire. When you get our raid messages, how do y'all Joe Hills raid here? Until next time, y'all, this is Joe Hills from Nashville, Tennessee. Keep adventure. And Quinn, final words.
I'm here too.
I'm sorry, I'm so hungry, I forgot.
Keep adventuring. Oh.